Do 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 do. Hang tight. I'm gonna show you all the beauty. I don't know if y'all can see this or not. Of the Shenandoah Valley. Yeah, you can kind of see that. The Shenandoah Valley right there behind me. It's going off, didn't it? Let's see. Hold on a second. Shenandoah Valley. This is South Harrisonburg. And Harrisonburg isn't as pretty as other parts of the Shenandoah Valley. So can y'all hear me? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. So Harrisonburg, so we used to live, this is South Harrisonburg, and we live, this is 81 right here. That's 81, Route 81. So what we live south. Let's see. There's 81 right there. That's 81 right there. So we live south, which is this way, in Dayton, Virginia. All right, so we're in South Harrisonburg now. You go up there, and you'll see more of Harrisonburg. It's like where JMU and all that is. We lived down here. So that's actually north right there. That's the Massanutten Mountain right there. That's the Massanutten Mountain right there. So I'm getting my directions all screwed up. That's why I didn't pass Ranger School. So that's Massanutten Mountain right there. I don't know if y'all can see that because it has that distinct right there, a little part right there. See, I think that's north though, northeast. It's like going towards Elkton. So I'm all screwed up. I can't remember. Anyways, Cracker Barrel. Now I'm hungry. Yeah, I just had some blueberry pancakes there at Cracker Barrel. So I'm up here to see my mom again. So we got to figure out what my mom wants to do. All right, because my mom is as ornery as a. Is that not plugging in? Good boy. Hold on just a second. Still don't want to catch, huh? There we go. All right. You can't hear me? Can y'all hear me? My man, I think it was Ed. It says he can't hear me. Can you hear me? You take it on the run, baby. That's the way you want it, baby. Okay, so Ed is just drunk as a skunk, obviously. Ed's all right, right on. Cool. So Ed's just drunk as a skunk, worried about voter F, because Ed says, "Oh, can't hear you." All right, right on. Anyway, so I'm in Harrisonburg, and so if you're up going 81, this is probably the ugliest. And I say ugly, it's still beautiful. But here you got like South Harrisburg, and you got like Mount Crawford, Mount Solon, you got Bridgewater, Dayton, and whatnot. And it's like Mennonite farmers and whatnot. It's absolutely fantastic. Yes, I love it. Proposal 2025 is to put gun dispensers in kindergarten classrooms. It's gonna be awesome, man. We're gonna put lots of gun dispensers and cigarette dispensers too in kindergarten classrooms. So my mom was born in 1946, Kat. So that would make her 78, I think. And she smoked like a chimney. And I guess she hasn't smoked for. I don't know. But she's right now at the Virginia Mennonite Retirement Community, and we're just trying to figure out what she wants to do. It seems like she wants to stay there. None of us live in Virginia anymore. My sister lives in North Jersey. My brother lives in Beaufort, and we live in Atlanta. But she's been here, 20 years now. So she does have a little, she knows some people down here and whatnot. So we're kind of like, it would be nice to move her closer to one of us. You know what I'm saying? My sister lives where my Grammy was in a nursing home. So we're kind of like, why not just move there? But, my mom's kind of content and settled in. So I just want to see what's going on and come check her out. Then I'm going to see a friend of mine I used to be a roommate with when I was in college. I used to be in the Army with. The National Guard, a good guy. One of my mentors, Chris, I'm going to get some lunch with him tomorrow and go see a high school friend I haven't seen in 35 years. tomorrow as well for dinner. Then you go down to Reedville, Virginia, and see another high school friend I hadn't seen since 1988, probably 1990 as well. So I'm gonna do some driving around here. And Reedville, Virginia is like on the northern neck. It's an area that I would highly. I've been wanting to look at because I can handle retiring there for sure. That's right. And this guy's got a boat. We're gonna go fishing or crabbing and whatnot. I freaking can't wait. We're gonna shoot some guns. He's got four wheelers. So we're gonna basically be rednecks. It's gonna be freaking awesome. Probably listen to some country music and some Kid Rock. You know what I'm saying? And just go out there. And if I was a drinking man, we'd be freaking mud bogging. I don't know if you all know what mud bogging is, but it's just it's a redneck lifestyle. I'm all about it, man. Poor white trash. It's gonna be fantastic. Actually, it's funny. So I just texted my friend from the army. I said, "Hey, man, Chris, I'm gonna be up your way. You got any time for lunch tomorrow?" He goes, "Man, I'm semi-retired, absolutely." And I'm 54. He's 54. It's just he made some good money in his. This one of those guys that like you just always knew the guy was gonna be wealthy. He's just got a Midas touch, dude. This guy's just like he was. I'll never forget. He would be buying. We go to it's just a great guy. I've always looked up this dude, but he'd be buying these arcade games. This is back in like early 90s. He'd be buying up these arcade games. This is before anyone else was doing it. And I was like, "What are you doing?" He goes, "They're gonna be a collector's item. You just wait." I said, "Nah, dude, that's no way, no way." And I don't know if I think they are now, but it's crazy. He won. He went to Las Vegas and he won the poker tournament. So he won like $150,000. I heard that, Kirk. Is that true? Was the shooter actually in a BlackRock ad? Have we confirmed? I heard that. I was like, no flipping way. No way. No way. Yeah. Anytime someone says about 2025, just make fun of them. And these people they're silly. Project 2025 is kind of like they're trying to make it like their version of the World Economic Forum. It's just dumb. Anyway, so welcome. We didn't do a live stream last night because I had to get ready to get on the road. It's an 8-hour drive up here. My wife made me sandwiches, which is nice. So I didn't have to stop at once. I just stopped at Cracker Barrel and just made the drive up here. Let's just put it this way. There's a certain group of people who are notorious for not driving well. All right. You know who I'm talking about, a certain group of people. It's notorious for not driving well. So I'm sitting there talking to my wife. I'm coming up 81, the North Carolina, Virginia border. There's this guy in his left lane in a minivan. I was like, dude, what the hell? He's like, so there's a semi tractor right here, tractor trailer, and he's in the guy's blind spot for like miles on end. And I'm like, there's no one in front of him. I'm like, just either get over. What are you doing? First of all, this is insane. You're in the dude's blind spot. Hey, Tom. Like, why would you ever drive in a semi's blind spot? You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make any sense. Anyway, so I'm sitting there, like, I'm telling my wife, oh my God, this guy's just like, he's butting along about 65 miles an hour, going up mountains, so we can't get around anybody. And finally, he goes faster to pull over to get over the other lane, and he just cuts the guy, the semi off. He just yanks it over. And like, I was like, I'm sitting there like, oh, that guy's like, he's on a suicide mission. I was like, what the hell? And then I look over and he is, you know what I'm saying? I said, I told my wife, oh my, he's living up to the stereotype. I could not believe it. And so the semi slammed his brake. I just put on the gas. I said, I got to get out of here. It's crazy. Dude, if it's on this channel, it's the real Josh. Yeah, the only time I repost anything on this channel is when I was on vacay. We only did a couple of videos where I was reposting. The forever stamps went up to 73 cents. I did hear that, Kevin. Yeah, I did. But man, I was like, dude, you gotta. Yeah, but have we confirmed it's that guy that's in the ad? Because that was crazy. Oh man, it was funny. I couldn't believe it. I was like, my God, dude, what they teach you in the eastern areas, if you know what I'm saying, about how to drive? Oh my goodness, anyway. All right, so what's this is the AI Josh, exactly. Oh man, I got something in my eye. It's great, man. It's freaking Hawes balls out there today too. I was like, dude, you gotta be kidding me. I was like, freaking, it was like 100 degrees at some point, and then it started raining in some part of North Carolina. It's like, man, I was telling my wife because I talked to my wife, believe it or not, and it got down to like 71 while the rain was coming. I was like, damn, that's nice. And then it just got hot as. Man, we got 200 people here, man. Look at that. So again, we got 157 on Heritage Wealth Planning, 23 on the Josh Scanlon YouTube channel, just a couple on Facebook, and 17 on Twitter. All right, right on. All right, so yeah, dude, this whole thing. So I want to share with you what I posted on Twitter, and X or whatever that's called, and Facebook. Some just seems off to me. I'd like to hear your thoughts too. What you guys think? There's just all right. So I posted. 1 second, we find it. Poor white trash. Let's listen to Cujo, Stephen King's book Cujo on tape, on book on from Hoopla. You can get it from Hoopla from your local library. So I got like right here Cujo. Listen to that. So that's Hoopla, and that's wherever it shows Hoopla, and you can get that from your library and listen to all kinds of stuff. It's fantastic. All right. So here's what I said. I'm sorry, there's no way this attack on Trump is organic, i.e., a lone wolf. The real question is, did he miss Trump on purpose? Do they, whoever they are, I don't know, want Biden to lose so much that this clown was sacrificed to get Trump more votes? Think about it. Some of the biggest government expansion programs have happened under Republican presidents: the EPA, affirmative action, TSA, DHS, military budget, etc. Just something to think about. Then my man Ted says, good point, Ted. He says, I want to jump to conspiracy here, Josh. The investigation is still early. You can't purposely miss someone by just a couple millimeters from 200 to 300 yards. I don't think it's 200 to 300 yards. And I think I don't think it's that far. But I think you're probably right, Ted. Too much to ask for a marksman. Biggest question for me is, how can Secret Service leave the best elevated shooting position uncleared, that then neutralize the guy in just seconds? I know that question supports your theory. Yeah, I completely agree with what Ted says there. There's a good point about, like, if that guy was real. I mean, if that, like, he was, I think it was 150 yards, but it's still it's a shot. You know what I'm saying? But here's a 20-year-old clown, some loser supposedly bullied, and 150 yards is Christopher. Yeah, right on. Yeah, 150 yards. That's a shot. You know what I'm saying? And yet here's some 20-year-old, just some loser apparently was bullied. Oh my goodness! And he's able to be that good of a shot. He has no friends, no family, no social life. He's that good of a shot, and he just missed Trump. And I think Ted's right. I think he actually meant to take him out by that much. You know what I'm saying? And then he crawled up on this ladder on the freaking top of the building, and other people, we see these interviews like, dude, we're telling it, like, he's right there. He's got a gun. You can see other videos where, like, he's got a gun. He's got a gun. And I'm like, what happened, dude? I'm sitting there thinking, so my initial reaction was, yeah, they want Biden to lose so Trump can get in there and expand government like George W. Bush did. But then Ted kind of say, no way he could. Exactly, Kirk. I was like, there's no way this loser just court. I'm like, Trump has been in Atlanta a couple of times. Biden and Kamala. Look, we don't even know where they're going to be. How do you coordinate that stuff where you bring a ladder? For this 20-year-old loser. I haven't been paying. I just seen tidbits when I go to the bathroom or something like that on Twitter. But this is what I'm reading. I'm just like, that doesn't make any sense. This 20-year-old kid, he's able to coordinate all this. It just doesn't make sense. And so my initial reaction is they don't want the people in charge. They don't want Biden in there because Biden is such a clown. They're like, dude, Biden is hurting the overall cause. But maybe we get Trump in there. Maybe Trump will pass a big government agenda that the Democrats can then use later on, like the DHS, the Homeland Security, the EPA, affirmative action. You see what I'm saying? All this stuff. He didn't bring the ladder in. It was already in there. But the ladder is built into the side of the building for access to the roof for maintenance. So it was already there. Doesn't that make it even worse then? I mean, so he didn't bring it in, but he had to scope out the scenario to say, hey, there's a ladder. I mean, anyway, it just doesn't make sense. Did I see the report from the AP that a local cop confronted him on the roof, but he pointed no way. dude. Uh, the, the Republicans expanded. They had affirmative action, EPA, wage and price controls. They got us off of the gold window. Right? The Republicans did that. They have the Department of Homeland Security. They have the TSA. They have the Patriot Act. The Republicans did all this, man. All this. The Democrats have Obamacare. Whip-de-flip and do. Whip-de-flip and do. And a lot of Republicans were hell bent on the vaccine crap too. Yeah, Trump just fell really hard, man. Exactly. And so what happened is I think these guys know. They said, man, if we can get the Republicans in there to be president, we can expand government because the Republican voters will go along with it. I fell hook, line, and sinker for the Patriot Act. 100%. Hook, line, and sinker for Afghanistan and Iraq. What a fool I was, dude. What a fool. Who is the biggest ones pushing gun control and vaccines back in the 60s and 70s? Who's the biggest ones pushing gun control and vaccines? Anyone want to take a guess? The Republican Party. The Republican Party did not like seeing the Black Panthers walking through San Francisco with rifles. They did not. It scared the hell out of them. The Republican Party was big on pushing vaccines in the 70s as well. Very interesting. So what do the Democrats do with it? They say, thank you, Republicans. Oh, what is Obamacare based on? Obamacare is based on Romney Care. Romney Care. Very interesting. And Romney was the Republican standard bearer in 2012 and previously governor of Massachusetts. So the issue, you're saying forget about the 70s. This is 50 years later. Who has been expanding the government? Forget about the 70s, 50 years later. We still have the EPA. Yeah, EPA. You never heard of the wetland stuff? Try to build a bridge in your backyard if the EPA has designated your land as a wetland. Try to build a bridge there. Just a simple bridge. Simple bridge. Try to build a bridge on your own land if the EPA has, if they have designated a wetland. Yeah, that's from Richard Nixon, man. Richard Nixon. Affirmative action is going back to Richard Nixon, who in 25 years earlier, in 2003, Sandra Day O'Connor said, when she voted for the 5-4 Supreme Court ruling to keep affirmative action, what did Sandra Day O'Connor say? We hope in 25 years we won't need affirmative action anymore. Well, here we are 22 years later, and apparently we still do. The issue is, who has, dude, that's another thing, Kirk. I could not believe seeing these chicks as freaking security personnel. I was like, this is like, Trump's a pretty big guy. I think he's like 6'3", and they're like standing up to here, like holding their hand over his head. I was like, dude, you can't have the freaking CIA. You can't have the women in these roles. This is horrible, man. Horrible. Are you not hearing me, brother? What was Obamacare based on? Romney Care. Where did Romney Care come from? The Heritage Foundation. Oh, the 2025 project. Whatever the hell. I don't even know what it is. I don't care. All right. That's where Romney Care was based on. It's the Heritage Foundation. Romney may or may not be a rhino. He was a standard bearer for the Republican Party in 2020 and 2012. Just fact. Where did TSA come from? Department of Homeland Security, the Patriot Act. Where did all these things come from? Bush. Was he a rhino? It turns out he was. No one thought that back then, though. We thought he was going to get him over there. I did. I thought he was going to get him over there before they come over here. What a fool we were. Anyway, so going back to what my man Ted said, he says he doesn't think that guy could have missed that deliberately. That was up. I said, yeah, that makes sense, man. I said that makes sense. So obviously this guy's a decent enough shot at 20 years old. At 100% Ted. And where did it come from? No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying this is what I've thought since the vaccine stuff was rolled out. This is my problem with Trump with the vaccine stuff from day one. I said, no, Bush was not overall good. Bush is horrible. Bush is an ass clown, 100%. Him, Colin Powell, Cheney, they should all be in prison. I said, yeah, Romney's not running again, but they replaced him with a rhino, and the Senate nominee for the Republicans is a rhino, just like their stupid governor in Utah is a rhino too. he wasn't. No, he just did what he's told to do, man. Bush, and he wasn't actually dumb. He just did what he's told. Anyway, so what my thought process was with Trump. I did not like the vaccine stuff, and all that happened under Trump. The 100%. Karl Rove, what a clown. Yeah, I don't blame Trump for Fauci. I don't. So Karl Rove, I mean not Karl Rove. So what happened with the vaccine stuff? All that did was allow the Democrats to expand on it, to try to import their friggin' vaccine mandates and all that crap. You know what I'm saying? I talked to a guy, and I gotta be careful what I say. Let's just put it this way. I talked to a guy who got the jab. Let's just put it this way. A couple months later, he was not doing so good, if you know what I'm saying. And so when they went in there to examine him, the doc said, "Did you recently get the jab?" He goes, "Yep." He goes, "Okay, we're asking that to everybody." He said, "Wow." Trump didn't mandate the jabs, I'll grant you. Trump didn't mandate it, but he did promote it like friggin' no one's business, which allowed other Republicans, like the idiot in friggin' Alabama, to say all the normal people are getting jabbed. It's these idiots basically calling us idiots who don't get jabbed. So the issues that we have is Trump being the father of the vaccine, that allowed the Democrats to run wild. Do you see what happens here? So the Republicans allow the camel's nose into the tent, right? And then when the Republicans lose, they get put to the side, they get shunned to the side, a la 2020. The Democrats come in and go full throttle. So that was my initial thought. I was like, they're going to see, Trump's going to do some stuff that seems good initially, but a lot of the Democrats say, yeah, no, they're going to say, we don't want it. And then the Democrats in their lawfare campaign will say, no, this is good once they get back in. But I don't think that's the case now. I don't think that's the case. I actually think the guy was trying to take out Trump. And Ted convinced me of that. He said it's just too hard of a shot to be that close and not deliberate, and not to be that close. And that's just okay. So 150 yards, that's a tough shot, man. That's a tough shot. So I think he was trying to take out Trump. So then my other thinking is, how the hell did the Secret Service? I mean, obviously, this wasn't just a lone wolf. I'm just sorry. He had, and then would someone say they found? Did someone say right here? They found this guy with right here. I thought I saw someone say they found that he had. I can't see. I thought there was something on there that said that they found like cars or something like that, or bombs or something. I don't know. I don't believe anything what they say, to be honest with you. Yeah, Trump is afraid of germs. 100%, man. Yeah, Trump said he could take it or not, but he was definitely promoting it, and he let the Democrats run wild. That's just fact. How did others? That's what I'm saying, dude. If they were able to take this guy out so fast, how did they not see him? So it's kind of like who was in on it. That's my thing. I don't know. I mean, the Secret Service was the Secret Service. I don't think the Secret Service was. I mean, maybe, but somebody was in on it. Who was in on it? I mean, what do you guys think? I'd love to hear your thought. My initial thought process has been exploded in terms of they want Trump in there so they can expand government. So then, what's the strategy here for the bad guys? Because it's obviously. It wasn't just some lone wolf, just like Lee Harvey Oswald. Come on, man. This whole idea that Lee Harvey Oswald just one day said, I'm going to take out Kennedy in the freaking book depository. No way, man. Kirk. Interesting. I like the way you're thinking, Kirk. Somebody got paid, but like who? I mean, I get why they would want Trump gone, because there's no one to replace him. I mean, Trump's the only thing we got. I mean, he's literally the last reason I'm going to vote for the Republican Party, because Republican Party is, again, the example of the Republican Party is, once again, Romney leaves, a big freaking rhino is going to take his place in the Utah Senate. The governor of Utah is a rhino. The governor, I don't know. I think the governor of South Carolina is a rhino. I certainly know Tim Scott and what's his name, Lindsey Graham, are rhinos. And I say rhino with Tim Scott. Yeah, he's just not. Your first reaction on a Bubba Wallace thing, on any of this stupid stuff with George Floyd, isn't to freaking go on with the Democrats. Your first reaction is say, just seems a little bit organized for me to fall into. You see what I'm saying? And all the Republicans like, Romney marching BLM and all that stuff. Your first reaction, if you're not a rhino, is say, this seems a little bit contrived to me. Bubba Wallace with his news. Nikki, that's why she sucks so bad. I was like, dude, come on. Horrible, horrible. She should not be at all involved in politics in the Republican Party. If your first reaction as a Republican was to sit there and say, "Oh, Bubba Wallace had a noose. We stand with Bubba," I'm like, dude, you're so freaking, you're childish. You know what I'm saying? If your first reaction for Mitt Romney is to march with BLM because you think George Floyd was a legit, you think you're that's not. I don't want anything to do with that party. If your first reaction they're starting to take down statues of Robert E. Lee, it's like, yeah, we can understand. No, I don't want anything to do with that. Man. I actually get the Mississippi flag and even the Georgia flag. I 100% get why we should have taken the Southern Cross off. I don't have any problem with that. I got no problem with that at all. I get it because the Georgia flag was prominent. This is before about 2 years before we got here, but they still have some people with Georgia flags. It is pretty glorious, not gonna lie to you. But 3/4 of the flag is a Southern Cross. This is the Confederate flag. I get that. I mean, Georgia's 35% black. I get, that'd be offensive to me too if I was black. And you can say all day long was, heritage. Now, hey, I get that, but heritage for a certain group of people, not another group of people, shouldn't be reflected in your state flag. You shouldn't have that. So I got no problem with that at all. But then again, they were talking about statues now. You start taking statues of RFK, not RFK, of Robert E. Lee, and all these guys. Then they took a statue down of some freaking immigrant in Minnesota who just came here, a white guy to join the cause to fight the slave owners and whatnot. And they're like, oh, we're going to take his statue down because he's just some, white guy. And he's like, gets killed. And I was like, what are you going to do? Take a statue down of Joshua Chamberlain now? No one says, well, no, it's just, yeah, nobody's at 100%. It's the same thing with freaking Timothy McVeigh. And whatever happened to the Las Vegas guy, whatever happened. How do they have his DNA? I don't know. Do they have his DNA? Is that how they matched him? They got his DNA in a database? Oh, 100%, dude. There's a massive de-state in the Republican Party. I completely agree. So you think he just you think this lone wolf, I think he's 20 years old, you think he just showed up one day, or he researched it? He scoped out the scenario. He said, oh, man, this is where Trump's going to be. I'm going to take I don't even know what kind of rifle it was. I heard it was a 223 round. I don't know that to be sure. I don't know. I just heard that. And he just said, I'm a 20-year-old loser. I've been beaten up. I've been made fun of my whole life. I'm going to go down with flames. I'm going to crawl up on this ladder. I'm going to crawl up on this roof. I'm going to sit there until Trump starts talking. Then I'm going to shoot, from 150 yards. That doesn't make sense to me at all, man. It doesn't make sense. Something else is going on there. I don't know what it is. And, but they obviously, yeah, people are pointing out to the police. Exactly, Brian. Yeah, but why? But even so, it's like, was it like their last ditch effort to get Trump out? Because they know that if Trump is out, then Joe Biden would step down, and then who's going to run for the Republican? Friggin' J.D. Vance, Vivek. I guess he'd probably be the nominee. They're not going to do anything. They're not. I mean, obviously, what's his name? Biden would step down. If Trump was gone, Biden would step down. Kamala, who knows what she would do? But you think Kamala? You think Vivek would have the same, beatability over Kamala? I don't know, man. It was an AR-15. Yeah, I don't. That doesn't bother me. We all know. I hate this. I hated it with Sarah Palin and Gabby Gifford stuff. I hate it now. Biden saying Trump's in a bullseye. Biden wasn't saying kill Trump. He just wasn't. I hate that stuff. It's so look. The Democrats get away with it. I get it. I don't like. There's some professor from British Columbia University saying, "Oh, you missed. You should have hit him," and all these idiots are saying you missed. Yeah, they should be freaking. They should lose their jobs. Dude. If you're advocating people being dead, you shouldn't keep your job as a university professor. That's just insane. But this is what you get when you call Trump literally Hitler. Literally Hitler. You're going to have people say, well, if he's literally, because everyone says, what would you have done if you're in 1933 Germany? And everyone says, I would have killed Hitler. Everyone says that. Okay, you would have killed Hitler. So now we have literally Hitler in there. What are you going to do now? That's the MO that they're trying to push, actually, is that they want to make it so like some crazy guy said, this is literally Hitler, I'm going to take him out. I just don't buy. I don't buy it for 2 seconds flat that the Secret Service was so flat-footed because of DEI and these idiots that are in charge of the DHS, or not DHS, the Secret Service, somehow would just drop the ball. I don't buy it for 2 seconds flat. I think the guy was a freaking absolutely coordinated attack. Look, you just look at some of these attacks. The FBA's, I mean, never mind the supposed, kidnapping Gretchen Whitmer. Remember the Dallas cops in Dallas? Remember the gay bar thing? The FBI has got their hands involved in this big time, big time. The FBI is involved in this stuff big time, and I don't know why they just. I think I know why they get a free reign, because everyone's so scared of them. Everyone's scared of Chris Wray. Everyone's scared of what the FBI can do. 100%. I mean, just who a guy I'm reading, Brendan Du Bois. I liked it. I just started reading some of his books, and he just got busted for child bad stuff on his computer and all this stuff. And it's like, and up in Maine, they had the guy who ran against Paula Page and some Democrat. He used to be a Democrat, Elliot. I'm drawing a blank his last name. He ran for governor, and he used to be a Democrat, and he split the anti-Paula Page vote. So Paula Page got 2 terms as Maine governor. And the next time around, when what's her stupid name, Janet Mills, was running against Paula Page again, somehow the guy Elliot was found with child P on his computer, and he's now in jail. I said, yeah, how convenient. Anyway, so this guy Brendan Du Bois, who I actually like his books, they just found. See, they can get you in which way they want. You see what I'm saying? They're involved in everything, and they're involved. It's just in there. Look, dude. I've always was suspicious about Oklahoma City. Elliot, now wasn't Elliot Spitzer. I don't know what they did with. I don't know if he was involved in that stuff in terms of what they got on Elliot Spitzer. I don't know if the FBI had anything to do with him. Is the guy from Maine? He ran for governor of Maine. He was a pretty big politician. What's the rifle team? I don't know what the rifle team story is. Yeah, I heard the Nancy Pelosi trying to say she's a victim of domestic violence. I laughed my ass. I mean, of Paul of. What the hell is political violence? I said, Pelosi, you just suck, dude. You suck so bad. Remember, does Heritage Foundation like Nikki Haley? No, they can't, do they? I get the, no. Does the Heritage Foundation like Nikki Haley? No. Oh, 1%. The Republicans, they would not have killed Hitler in the late 20s. He was brought them out of major recession. Ooh, how dare you start saying anything? Be careful, Ted. Be careful. Be careful. Actually, they have some videos now on YouTube, which is very odd. Hitler speeches in English. You should check it out, man. It's pretty interesting. You're like, oh my God. Literally, check it out. It's actually quite interesting. I'm surprised that YouTube is allowing that. Another thing too is like, Heritage has moved to far right. Too far. All right, so TOO is what you're trying to say. So my man William, I was like too far right for Nikki. Yeah, I can't imagine Heritage Foundation, but I don't know. Maybe they were. I mean, look, Romney Care was a Heritage Foundation plan. Now, look, my dad was very involved in National NCPA, Cato Institute, and in terms of healthcare choices. Patient Power is what's called. The NCPA was the National Center for Policy Analysis out of Dallas, Texas. A guy named John Goodman. Patient Power had written a book. My dad, I mean, we're heavily involved in the Patient Power free choice medical. And so some of the Heritage Foundation stuff is legit, you know what I'm saying? But what we've always expanded, and same with 401ks, is it should have nothing to do with your employer. Your employer should not be involved in your health care. They shouldn't be involved in your retirement. But unfortunately, because this is so neat and ingrained in this, because of what happened during the wage and price controls under World War II, is that this is the only way the unions could offer people to give them an incentive to join a union, was to say, hey, look, even though we can't give you higher wages, we can give you, basically these Cadillac benefits on healthcare. And as such, the healthcare became ingrained in employment, which is just absolutely horrific, a horrible, horrible thing. And it's so ingrained now. So what the free choice people on the healthcare front, the libertarian right, was like, look, just give people vouchers. Let them have vouchers. Nothing far right about Josh. Jason, I'm just a brainwashed leftist. I don't get what you. I'm a brainwashed leftist. Oh, dude, Haley sucks. I don't want to hear anything weird. I'd like Tulsi. I'd rather have Tulsi than Haley. Kat, I go back and forth on this. Not going to lie to you. The vaccine stuff is just tough for me to overlook. Tough for me to overlook. If Trump would disown the vaccine, look, I'm going to vote for the guy. I hope he wins. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't hate on Trump or anything, and I like him. But the vaccine stuff still pisses me off to this day. And I get it. Trump never mandated vaccines. I get that 100%. Trump's a federalist. I very much appreciate that. But from my opinion, that again, that opened the door. This is what the Republicans do. They put the camel's nose in the tent, and then the Democrats, when they take over, which ultimately they will, they get free birth to just run rampant throughout the tent because of the Republicans, what the Republicans did. And I just, a lot of these people think Theodore Roosevelt was this great, freaking Republican. No, he was horrible, horrible. The Bull Moose Party, what it led to Woodrow Wilson. And this is what happens with the Republican Party. It's happened for freaking basically centuries now. Is the Republican Party, you got a significant section of the Republican Party who essentially is deep state, big government types. And then you got a bunch of people like us, MAGAs, you know what I'm saying? And we always get co-opted because a deep state that's why they're deep state. They're not emotionally driven. They are driven by literally, they have the ability, they have the financing, they have the staying power. And we just don't because we're too busy working. It's just a fact. And so they're advancing the cause of the big government. I mean, 100% the war machine, and they have staying power that which we don't. So I don't think Trump is a stooge necessarily. I don't know. I go back and forth on that a little bit. I don't think he is. I just but with that said, I'm still the vaccine stuff pissing off. I can't. I'm just sitting there thinking, man, because he went after Sweden, he went after Brian Kemp, who took a different stance than he did for the shutting down all that stuff. And I just and so many Republicans went along with it because they just had to pull Trump over the finish line in 2020. They said, yeah, we'll go along with lockdowns. And I said, you never would have done that if that's Hillary Clinton. You never would have. And it really bothered me. It still does. You never would have agreed to any of this if it was Hillary Clinton. And that's where I started seeing things a little bit differently. I said, man, you guys claim you're for little government, but when it comes to your guy winning politics, you're like, we just got to lock this down now just so we can get Trump over the finish line. I said, that doesn't fly for me, man. It's a moral good or it's a moral bad. Lockdowns are a horrible moral bad. The vaccine promotion was I just got to be careful what I say, but you know what I'm saying. And I just, it's hard for me to overcome that. It's hard for me to overcome that. It's kind of like if you say, I didn't have any problem with the stupid bump stock stuff. That was minimal to me. I know a lot of right wingers got all up in arm about that. I didn't bother me. But if you, for instance, if a Republican were to come along, and they probably did in the 90s, I can't remember what McCain did. I can't remember. But if a Republican were to come along and say, entertain the idea of registering your handguns because they felt the political winds were shifting that way, that's the Republican Party I despise. Because if it wasn't for honorable men like Wayne LaPierre from the NRA standing up and say Bill Clinton would accept a certain level of violence to push gun control, we would not have the freedom of firearms that we have right now. It's literally because Wayne LaPierre. He pulled the Republican Party over the line and say, no, we're not negotiating on this. We've negotiated on everything else. We're not negotiating on firearm registration. And a lot of people forget Al Gore, one of his main tenets of his 2000 campaign was government licensing, federal government licensing on handguns. People forget that, man. Federal government licensing on handguns is what Al Gore said. What does that lead to next? The obvious thing is Australia and Canada. Do people not remember this? And again, they're saying I'm a liberal. People not remember this? What happened when he had, and now thankfully Steve Harper, who I'm somewhat of a fan of, but I've lost my, Canada he stuck to, but still, I mean, he was better than Trudeau. But anyway, he got rid of the firearm registry in Canada, but still, they gave away 3 steps of freedom in Canada for firearms. And they got 1 step back. They're still in the hole too. And in Australia, you're done. In Australia, you've simply lost your ability to own firearms. And as such, it's crazy, all because of government registrations. And again, this is what was happening in the 90s. And I guarantee that there are many Republicans today who sat and said that in the 1990s. Yeah, just a little bit of registration. That's no big deal. We're not going to take your firearm. No, screw that. And so that's my thing, is that when it comes to certain things, a lockdown, a shutdown of the entire economy, because you're worried about your politics, when people's little lives are at stake, their businesses that they set up for, just the whole thing is insane. And it's what we're going to do is we're going to send them all these checks. That's not, no, that's not America. That's not America. Dude, I completely agree. It's not incompetence. There's something going on. I just don't know what it is. Yeah, 100%, 100%. That's why I said when I start this, Reagan was anti-Second Amendment in the 60s because the Black Panthers were the rifles. 100%. If memory serves, Reagan also signed abortion legislation in California too. Now, I love Reagan. I think Reagan crushed as a president, but still, he was anti-Second Amendment for sure. Trump came out against Ukraine. Yeah, I agree. I like Tulsi. I mean, look, I don't really trust any of these guys, to be perfectly honest. But I just think she'd be I don't want Vivek. I don't want who's the other guy? I certainly don't want Nikki Haley. Oh. Well, Vivek. I don't want JD Vance. I like JD Vance, but come on, he's only been in Senate for 2 years. I mean, come on. I don't want him. I'd like Mike Flynn, General Flynn, but I think Tulsi would be a nice little. I think that would be an interesting pick right there. Yeah, she's smart, attractive, and has got the Cruella DeVille thing. Exactly. Why would Haley sew up the vote for Trump? Because the anti-Trumpers are going to suddenly jump on board? I don't think so. Oh my goodness. Flynn would be my choice. Oh, Rubio. Yeah. No way on Rubio, 100%. Yeah, I get you, man, but I don't know. Tulsi seems like she seems legit. But look, dude, don't trust me in my political instincts. I just know at the end of the day, I fell hook, line, and sinker for the Bush stuff. Look, I don't have it here. I liked Buchanan back in '92. I was a big Buchanan guy, the Buchanan Brigades and all that. And then when he stopped, I became a Perot guy. And this is even when Rush Limbaugh was bashing Perot. You know what I'm saying? I was a part of the Buchanan. And then there was a guy, he's out of Dallas. I don't know if he's out of Dallas anymore, named Mark Davis. And he basically called Buchanan, little Hitlers. And this is a right wing guy. I said, man, see what I'm talking about. You guys are playing the Democratic talking point. Again, this is many years ago. But I'll never forget, listen, because Mark Davis used to be in D.C. on WMAL. And I remember I used to work at load trucks for UPS when I was in college. And I just said, dude, this is what the right wing does, is we call our own base little Hitlers. The left wing never does that. The left wing never does that. They never call their Antifa little commies or little fascists. Pat Buchanan I'd love to get another Pat Buchanan there. I don't think we have it though. It's just funny how many arrows Pat Buchanan took, and it turns out he's very prescient. Are they going to give what's the name? Are they going to give Robert RFK Jr. some Secret Service now? I mean, this chick needs to go. Kim Cheadle. Oh, but she didn't do it. Yeah, she did. I have my sister-in-law. What is it? So my mom remarried. I don't know what it's called, but like when my mom's new husband's daughter, is that my sister-in-law or stepsister? I don't know what it's called. But anyway, so my mom marries a guy who has his own children, right? So that chick is not related to me, but through my mom, whatever it is, stepsister, sister, I don't know what it's called. She was a captain in an artillery platoon, a stepsister. There you go. She was a captain, and one of her soldiers got killed because of bad maintenance on the artillery in Germany. She was stationed in Germany, and she was removed of command. Removed of command, and she didn't clean it. But because under her command, a lack of cleanliness or whatever it was an artillery shell. Like, and I don't know what happened. She lost her command. And same thing with stupid Kim Cheadle or whatever. Someone died, you freaking scumbag, and because of your incompetence of your Secret Service. I mean, the buck stops there for sure. I would actually look at Mayorkas too. The Republicans, did they impeach Mayorkas? No, they didn't. They need to go back and say, no, we're going to impeach you too, because you denied extra Secret Service protection. Yeah, I just want someone who's anti-war. Exactly, Marie. I just no more Ukraine crap, no more Israel crap, all that. Doesn't mean I hate Israel. Just means we got our own problems, man. I used to love Pat and Joe Scarborough. He took a turn. Pat took a turn. Can't have president and vice president from the same state. Why not? How come you can't have president and vice president from the same state? I don't get it. So anyway, he used to have high pitch pressers. He's a great governor, but a Harvard grad. Oh, you're talking about what's his name? Governor DeSantis. Yeah, did you hear too? Like, so Rand Paul's wife said to freaking stupid Nancy Pelosi, because she says she's a victim of political violence. She goes, yeah, my husband had 6 ribs broken by a next door neighbor because he didn't like my husband's politics, and he was on death row. And your daughter posted that something like basically mocking Rand Paul. Mocking Rand Paul. Can you believe that stuff? Chris Rubio. Why can't you have 2 people in the same state? By the way, I was watching this very interesting video. The proof that Thomas Jefferson fathered children with Sally Hemings is not very strong. Did you know that? Not very strong. The proof that Jefferson had slave children is very weak. Very, very weak. The Leather Apron Club, if you ever want to, some of you guys might not like this guy because he's pretty, I'm just telling you. The Leather Apron Club. Watch his video on Thomas Jefferson and Sally Hemings. You'll be like, oh, because I haven't really done much deep dive into it. Fox also did something stupid too. What they said? Oh, they did. They said, yes, I was watching Fox because I couldn't take this, like Trump hears shots and falls to the ground. I was like, huh? Or balloon popping. Or did you all see the one with Reagan? He's in Germany, in Berlin. This is like 3 months after he got shot by Hinckley. And a balloon pops. He goes, missed me. Oh, that's classic, dude. Is that a constitutional thing I've never heard this. Is that in the Constitution that the president and vice president can't be from the same state? Yeah, I don't think Youngkin. He's got 1 term. He won 1 election. I don't get it, man. Yep, 100%. I completely agree. Youngkin doesn't do anything for me. See, J.D. Vance would be the vice president. He once said he often thought Trump was like Nixon, but then would think he was Hitler. I literally looked through 10 news articles on Google before I had to go to YouTube to actually get. Yeah, it's crazy. Crazy. N. What's Tom saying with N? Okay, what are you guys talking about? Oh, by the way, too, just a side note. But it was the 12th Amendment that said you can't be from the same state. Really? Yeah, Trump hears noises and falls to the ground. Exactly. Oh, my goodness. Dude, it's crazy. It's crazy. You should look into it. They've been just, basically denigrating prominent white people for decades on this stuff. And they keep doing it, man. They keep doing it. And so, like with Elvis, they're like, oh, Elvis stole from the blacks. I'm like, okay, well, from what? Jazz and blues. Okay, well, where did jazz and blues come from? Well, jazz has what's called saxophones, pianos. Where do these accordions? Where do these instruments come from? And where's some of the music that jazz is based on? It's based on European marching music. And those instruments are sax. There's a guy named Sax. That's literally a saxophone. There's a guy named, I think, Alphonse Sax. The piano, the accordions, all these are from Europeans, man. So if we're gonna start saying, "Oh, whites stole rock and took rock and roll, stole from blacks," well, where did blacks get the stuff from? They took the music, they took the instruments from us, white people. You see what I'm saying? The whole thing's so stupid. But yet everyone's like so afraid to say, no, 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 enough of this. You stop denigrating Thomas Jefferson. Stop denigrating all these guys who fought and died in the Civil War to free slaves just because they're, it's insane, man. Stop saying Elvis stole your music. And he's, there's a lot. Look, record companies are scumbags. I don't blame people on that at all. A lot of these, in fact, I was listening to my man Raheem, the vigilante, on the way up here. He's got a song talking about how, the guy, when the rappers got screwed on, he said, you didn't look at the contract. You didn't look at the contract. Now you're famous, but you're not making any money because you didn't look at the contract. I get that. But in terms of Elvis stole music from blacks and, he's profits or making profits that blacks, he robbed basically blacks. No, no, no. Because you could say then blacks stole the music from whites. You can see how this works. We can go back, till we're blue in the face. It's just so dumb. But no one wants to stand up and say, no, 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 enough of this crap. That's why I do like YouTube. Leather Apron Club. I'm a big fan of that because some guy actually says, and he shows quote, chapter and verse, one after the other, after the other, after the other. It's crazy. It's crazy. And you're like, yeah, all right, this is such a freaking scam. It's crazy, man. And it'll piss you off because you're like, Thomas Jefferson is one of the good guys. Look, my mom did not like Thomas Jefferson. She thought he was a Cavalier type, and Cavaliers are kind of rich aristocrats who basically, wanted poor whites to fight their battles to keep slaves. And she thought Thomas Jefferson was like that. Turns out Thomas Jefferson was not keen on slavery at all. None at all. Thomas Jefferson was a righteous dude. So anytime they denigrate Thomas Jefferson, they're trying to do it to denigrate our country, for sure. And denigrate, the founders of our country, which were white people. And you shouldn't allow that. That's the wrong answer. That's the wrong answer. Because we're never going to denigrate, some of the other, the black guys who also played a role in the foundation of this country either. We won't do that to them, so we should allow them to do that to us. And when I say them, I don't say black and white. I'm saying the liberals, because a lot of these people are just white libs. We're trying desperately. White libs. Only thing a white lib wants. This is what the white lib wants more than anything, is they want a black person to pat them on the back, say you're an ally. That makes white libs just like, oh, a black guy recognized me. Look, I've been dealing with white liberals a lot for a long time. They just want to be patted on the back, on the head by a black person and say, you're with us. You're one of us. Eminem, he just wants to be, we pat you on the back, Eminem. Because all these guys are fake, dude. They're all brought up by the powers that be. They take the ticket. It's crazy. Everybody knows this. I mean, my God. And so they're like, they take the ticket. I tell you, Candace Owens is going on some freaking fantastic tangents lately with Eminem. It's fantastic. He basically says he's gay because the only reason Eminem is famous because he took the ticket and he's basically hiding the fact he's gay. It's funny as hell. I love it. I just love the pushback, and I love it, man. Let's see what other kind of comments we got. All right. Let me hear ear. That's pretty good, man. Steve Sachs. JD Vance said, I go back and forth between might be a cynic like Nixon who wouldn't be that bad and might improve. No, did Vance say that? Well, he was wrong. I mean, look, dude. Look, I was saying all kinds of positive stuff on George W. Bush. What an idiot I was. You know what I'm saying? It's like, ugh, it's embarrassing. Hell, I gave Romney money in 2012. You see what I'm saying? People can change. Situation dictates, man. And if you're not changing with this is why I don't ever like these Republicans like, I have been pro-life my whole life. I'm like, I don't know that doesn't appeal to me at all. I have been on the side of tax cuts my whole life. I'm like, oh God, you just sound like a machine, a robot, a wind me up toy. You haven't thought this through. You're just like, how can I get elected as a Republican? Well, here are my thoughts on what Republicans expect of me. I have no thoughts of my own. Oh, interesting. Now that is interesting. Huh. That is, yeah, wasn't Alex Jones saying Biden, I'm saying that's interesting. I had, knock out, yeah. Blame Mag. Ooh, I think guess I'm on there. Well, the term might have come from black slang for having sex, but the music in of itself isn't like we don't have to apologize for advancing music. In fact, the first guy ever played electric guitar was white. You know what I'm saying? So we don't. I just the whole thing is like you stole from the whole colonialism stuff. I'm just so sick of it. You stole from us, man. It's not fair. It's like, oh God, dude. Everybody steals from everybody. Well, I mean, she had it. I mean, no, I mean, I don't like Nikki Haley. I'm not going to watch her stupid speech, but she was an aspirational candidate who did receive a decent amount of votes. I mean, it's kind of like they let Buchanan speak in '92. They had to. I mean, this is where the Democrats, they don't follow any rules. Remember that Bob Casey, they didn't let him speak in '92. He was the pro-life Democrat. They said we're not going to give you a platform. I like to think the Republicans are a little bit more open than that. We're probably too open, frankly, but be it as it may, I'd rather be more open than less. And the Democrats are just smoke-filled back rooms. Man. I mean, why do you think when Bernie went down, they all fall suit because they're told. And the Democrats are controlled 100. Everyone thinks the Democrats control the media. The media controls the Democrats. And who controls the media? Well, Jeff Bezos, friggin' Carlos Slim, all these guys, Soros, all these guys. And who controls those guys? I don't know. But I mean, the media controls the Democrats. That's just fact. So anyway, when the media says, "Hey, Bernie, you got to take one for the team," Bernie says, "You got it, sir. Yes, sir. Can I have another?" And he does it with lack of grace. He's like, "I got my 3 houses, and my wife made the where the hell's he from? That college, that Bennington College, go bankrupt because she was allegedly involved in some corruption there. But hey, we got ours. We got our bag, and they all can kiss my ass. But they think I'm a socialist. Yeah, come on, Bernie Sanders, give me a break. He's nothing, but he's not like that at all. He just wants his bag. He's got it, and as such, he's like took the ticket. At least Republicans, we say, Nikki Haley has a right to speak. You know what I'm saying? Why are you on the brink of retirement, man? Nah, she's not gonna get booed. They're not gonna boo her. That would be tasteless. I wouldn't expect that. Dude, Romney's such a scumbag, dude. Such a scumbag. Interesting. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. Comment on Social Security or Secret Service? Yeah, I think they're in on it. I'm not even sure the Secret Service is in on it. I think they're so incompetent to be in on it, if that makes sense. But obviously, I don't think this guy is a lone wolf. I think he's put there by somebody. Let's see. Trump did. I don't think so. They're trying to take out Trump to keep him out of the White House. We're doing this again. Oh, for the love of the good Lord, dude. Republicans want to get rid of Social Security and Medicare. Dude, you got to friggin' get your new talking points, dude. You guys have been saying this for friggin' decades. Did you just ever get old, Michael Capoleone, or whatever his name is, of just saying the same stuff? The Republicans, they could have easily got rid of it under Bush. Could have easily got rid of it under Trump. They had majorities in both houses, and they had the presidency, and yet they didn't even come close. They not only could they not get rid of that, they couldn't even get rid of Obamacare. I mean, come on, dude. It's infantile. Michael, you're an infantile. You're an infantile arguer. And come on. There's so many better arguments that you guys could use, and one of these guys are going to see. That one of my friends from high school. I love him to death, but he's so convinced that Trump is going to get rid of Obamacare. I'm like, where is the evidence of this? Where we had a chance to get rid of it, it didn't work. It's not happening. It's ingrained now. I'm not talking Social Security and Medicare. I'm talking Obamacare. It's so embarrassing. It's just why the left, they get these talking points and it's like basically from the Truman time. Remember when Truman was running against Dewey, Truman said Dewey was a Hitlerite. You know what I'm saying? It's so embarrassing. I don't have any respect for people who make these arguments. None. Because it's so stupid. It's come on. If you're gonna be on this channel, come better arguments, man. Those arguments are just so petty and infantile. I don't need time for infantile. It's so stupid. Come up with different arguments. breaks. I mean, you can make a good argument that the Republicans want to give tax breaks to the rich. I get that. And I think that's a stupid argument, because how are you going to give tax breaks to the non-rich if the people don't pay taxes and not getting tax breaks? I also think it's a stupid argument too that the rich are getting rich off the backs of the poor. Like Rush Limbaugh used to say this all the time, which is fantastic. He goes, wait, so we got the rich and the poor. Yeah, that's right. And the rich are stealing from the poor to get more rich. Yeah, that's right. But I thought you said they're poor. They are. So if they're poor, that means they have no money, right? Yeah, they don't have any money. So how are the rich stealing from the poor who don't have any money to get richer? That's so freaking stupid. But I mean, that's a better argument to make. You say, hey, they're trying to make the tax code in favor of the rich. And I think that's a better argument, better legs. And I simply say, yeah, because they're the ones who pay the tax. It's dumb, but I think it's a better argument. I think if the Democrats are smart, they just hammer on minimum wage. I mean, and rent control. I'm telling you, these are horrible economic arguments, but these get ignorant people and basic economics fired up. Higher minimum wage and rent control. I mean, it's horrible economically, but that is an argument to be made. Don't you think people should have a living wage? In fact, I say no. You should be no minimum wage at all. You should have a right to negotiate for yourself. Oh, so you think Mrs. Smith with her 3 kids should be making $3 an hour? I said she won't be making $3 an hour. It's so dumb. But that's a better argument for the Democrats. Minimum wage and rent control, because people they inherently say, yeah, man, why do I got to pay? The rent's too damn high. They're dumb arguments, but they're winning arguments for the Democrats. If I was a Democrat, I'd just hammer that. What's the other? There's rent control, minimum wage. There's another one too. Tax the wealthy. I get that. That's a good argument for the Democrats too. Yeah, the Republicans don't want to have the wealthy pay their fair share. It's a good argument. It's fake, but it's a good argument. And when they say like Warren Buffett only pays less than a secretary, it's just not true. But these are all good, because the media isn't going to hold anyone accountable for their lies. They just won't. So these are good arguments to me. They're easily defeated, but they have to be nuanced defeated. And if you got defeated nuance, you lost the argument. The Social Security and Medicare stuff is just so freaking stupid. It's childish. I'm embarrassed for people who use these arguments. I really am. There's many other arguments the Democrats could use. We're supposedly what's the word? Subsidizing oil. Okay, I can't stand big oil. Can't stand the Rockefellers. I would love for the Rockefeller Foundation to not be tax exempt. I would love for the Ford Foundation to not be tax exempt. If the Republicans were smart, and they're not, I know, they would go after the freaking foundations and say, we're going to start making you pay taxes and taxes on your real estate as well. We'll allow the localities to tax you on your real estate. We don't want a federal tax on real estate, trust me. We want the localities to be able to tax these foundations, these universities on real estate tax and property tax. That way they can use it for infrastructure to expand their freaking Medicaid if they want to do that. 100%. I got no qualm with that. Republicans should run on that 100%. It's a good argument to say, hey, and I would say on the income tax side, federal income tax side, the Republicans should say, we're going to raise taxes on Warren Buffett. We're going to raise taxes on giving money to foundations, Bill Gates and Melinda Foundation. We're going to raise taxes on the gross amounts that you guys have in these endowments and foundations. We're going to raise tax on it. We're going to use that money solely for Medicare and Social Security. I think it's a winning proposition. I don't get why the Republicans don't see this opportunity as it is, but because the Republicans aren't serious. That's why the Republicans, there's a sizable Republican. I'm not sure it's a majority, but it's probably pretty darn close. That's basically there's the Washington Generals. They play for the Democrats. Again, the Democrats play for the media. So the Republican, a sizable position of the Republican Party, no different than what happened in France. And again, I called what happened in France. I said, I guarantee Le Pen will not win in France, because I know their version of the GOP establishment is going to throw in with the liberals. I knew that was going to happen because it happened before. It's happened a couple times in France. It happened in Italy, same exact damn thing. This last time we got some lady who supposedly was some right-wing populist. Turns out she's not. So they don't let real right-wing populists win. They don't, because what happens is the establishment type of the Republican Party gets in there to partner with the Democrats. Trump is the only exception to that. And that's why I'm still still on the fence about it. But by and large, I'm pretty keen on Trump. But still, it's just weird that they let Trump win. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of why I was like, how did that happen? Because again, If you look at what happened in 2016 in Michigan, I'm telling you, it was Macomb County or some county that was heavily black, and Hillary could have won if she would have challenged that. She could have won that county because there was some. They closed the polling early, and I was surprised because Jill Stein was going in there to challenge it, and they just shut Jill Stein up. And I was like, why didn't they pursue that? They should have pursued it, not because Hillary is a righteous loser. Something happened to make Hillary not pursue it. I don't know what it was. I mean, I don't know who these people are. It's not Hillary's in charge. But it was, you could see if you just read, watch some of the news bites from the 2016 election in Michigan. And I can't remember the counties. I don't recall because I'm not from Michigan. But I was like, it's a pretty significant Dem county. They closed the polling early and they didn't reopen them or something like that. I was like, man, that could have been. Michigan didn't go heavy for Trump. I think he only won by 10,000 votes or something like that. I said, why did they open that up? I was surprised by that. And then when Jill Stein challenged it, they said, no, Jill, shut up. Here's some money. Here's your bag. Just leave this alone. That's why I said that just seemed odd to me. It seemed odd. It's like, And then we got the same thing happen in 2020, and they went rip roaring crazy, never to challenge anything. And now in Michigan, it's illegal. It's illegal because freaking halfwit up there just signed a bill to challenge the election results. It's illegal to challenge the election results in Michigan. Can you believe that? Yeah, what I'm saying. Exactly. Congress people do not write the law. They just vote on them. The laws are written by the lobbyists, the corporations, and the unions. 100%. They write the laws. 100%. Exactly. I wonder why that is. Germany makes legit concern. They're trying to do with AFD too. Oh, Tim Scott, totally, man. Tim Scott. Someone's typing all caps. Who's typing all caps? Oh boy. All right. So this guy's look at little R. You have power by your labor there, guy. Pretty simple. You have power by your labor. Pretty simple. Yeah, the whole thing's just stupid. Yeah, well, I agree with that. Yeah, I saw that Navarro's going to go in there and crush. I'm a big fan of Navarro. Can't wait to see what he says. Yeah, I can't believe I voted for Romney either. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Yeah, but she's. I don't agree. I mean, I get it. There are a lot of Democrats who voted for. I get that. She still has a number of Republican voters. She does. I mean, just read some of these on Instapundit, on Powerline blog, and like these are blogs I've been following for a long time. These are Republicans. They're true and true Republicans. A lot of them just don't like Trump, but they love them some Nikki Haley. They love them some Nikki Haley. I hope she doesn't get booed. You don't want to be booing people. That's not good. Yeah, I 100% agree with Ted. You can't be booing people just because. I don't think they're going to boo her. I hope not. I hope not. Let's see. Well, here, okay. I agree with Michael here. Dude, you and I are 100% agreement there. Yeah, all right, there, Michael. That's a good. I completely. We already talked about it here. Why it's tied to health insurance and why it should not be. Should be a voucher program. You shop your own, get your own insurance. 1 week after Scott not picked, Tim Scott and fiance call off wedding. Oh, you're saying because you think he's like Lindsey Graham? He goes both ways. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, yeah. Dude, holy crap, Michael. All right, maybe I take it a little. I have a sneaky suspicion my man Michael wants a national health care, though. Is that true, Michael? You like Mark? Look at Mark, man. He is fancy. So, Michael, I have a feeling you want single payer. Is that correct? But I 100% agree that health insurance should not be tied to employment. Cannot agree. I don't think Michael was typing all caps. I think it was the other guy, the black guy. Yeah, this guy right here. This guy's typing all caps because he's like, I want to be heard. I want to be heard. So everybody listen to me. I want to be heard. Yeah, right. So that's, I mean, look, the single payer is absolutely atrocious, but at least it's not tied to health, to your employment. So this is where us on the libertarian right and a guy like Michael, he wants basically the government in control of all your health care, which we know immediately leads to rationing. We know that for a fact. We don't want national health insurance. It's freaking dumb. It falls apart everywhere it's tried. It's fallen apart in Canada. It's fallen apart in the UK. It's horrific, 100%. In Mexico, they have privatized. You can pay more for private, roll the red carpet, and everybody else gets the poor man stuff, which is kind of what we have here with Medicaid. We don't want single payer. What we should have instead, and it will never happen because we don't want, the politicians will vote what they're told to vote, and they don't want to give people freedom. We should have everyone get a voucher instead of companies paying so we're paying 6.2 into Social Security, 1.65 into Medicare, whatever it is. The company should say, we're going to give you a voucher. There's a completely write off their taxes, immediately a voucher, say, here's $10,000, go shop for health insurance, just like it should be. So, yeah, 100%, man, 100%. You got it, Mark. Do we need health care costs dependent on insurance companies? People are empowered. Yeah, well, that's the thing. See, the difference between these clowns who say you have no authority to negotiate, and these are all clowns because the minimum wage law is horrible. It's just horrible. And people, they don't believe in the individual freedom. They said you don't have the power to negotiate. Of course you do. Of course you do. You could have made a case in the old days of unionization when everyone's going to coal mines and stuff that that's where unions were needed there for sure. I still think there's some need for unions, but the new unions are so damn corrupt anymore because they're just all left-wing bureaucrat now. It's insane. And look, we know what happened with the anti-unions, the Rockefellers. Oh, again, going back to the Rockefellers, how they literally shot and killed women and children in Colorado. I forgot the town in Colorado. It's not Longwood. John a blank in like 1912. The Rockefellers did that. They killed the wives and children of union protesters because they didn't want. Then immediately after that, the Rockefeller Foundation found Jesus, and they've been a left-wing insanity ever since. Evil, evil group of people, and yet they don't pay a tax. The Republicans are fine with that. Why the Republican? That's what it was. Yeah, right on, man. Yeah. 100%, dude. And we know for a fact that all these Canadians, when they need to get stuff done, they come here, or they're going to be sitting in for 2 years. I was talking to a guy when I was in Calgary. I forgot what he needed. It was some basic thing he could get done in the U.S. 2 years. Took him 2 years. Yep, 100%. They say when companies start giving health insurance as part of your wages, said my aunt, that she'll see when on what. Yep, exactly. Yep. Oh, see, here's another one, my man Mike, that I agree with. I completely agree. Do you think you know that in national health insurance, though? You think you know what it costs? See, and this Michael, instead of saying, see, this is what you guys should do, because you should say, because it's very alluring. Instead of saying the idiotic stuff you said before about the Republicans trying to get rid of Social Security and Medicare, you should say, and this is because it's alluring, it's attractive. You should say, why don't we just have a national system of health insurance like every other country does? It's horrific policy, but it's wonderful politically. It really is. Not gonna lie. Everyone says, what? So I can go to the doctor and not have to worry about pay? Yes. Yes. Now I would come back and say, how long does it take to get hip replacement? How long does it take to get knee replacement? How long are you in surgery? How long? Who are the doctors? What the doctors? Because remember, the reason national health insurance will never work very well is because what they're doing is they're rationing. They literally ration the services you can get. They have to inherently. They say these are the services we're going to provide. These other services we won't provide. And as such, if you need these other services, sucks to be you. They have to ration it because there isn't unlimited budgets. They just don't have. Then the providers for health insurance are basically employees of the state. The state determines the wages, all right? The state says these are the wages we're paying for anesthesiologists. You're not paying any more than that. So, and why a lot of these people want to come to the good old US of A. Wonder why. But I just read a study a couple weeks ago. I forgot who wrote it. Anyway, a lot of doctors are trying to make their way here because they said, man, they get educated in the UK or Canada, and they come here in the United States to make the money because we pay them, anesthesiologists, radiologists, $500,000, and they got freaking, they get educated over there, and they come here to practice because they get paid. So we get the benefit of them learning systems over there. And then they say they're fleeing the NHS. And it's happening more and more. We all know this. And just take a look. There's a huge shortage of providers in these places because they're not getting paid squat. This is why America America freaking crushes. I love America, man. It's even with Sniffy Joe and these idiots, the people in charge still want somewhat of a quasi-capitalistic, fascistic society because they love making the money. They love it. The people in charge love making the money. And they'll give us some. You know what I'm saying? It's quasi-fascistic. It is, man. Anyone who says, oh, we're capitalistic, it's just dumb. We're not communistic either. We're fascistic. It's big government. So fascism, big government, big labor, and big business. Basically conspiring. We don't really have big labor anymore. The government labor parties, I get that. But basically the government labor unions are part of big government. So basically we have two factors here. Big government, big business. It's Mussolini on steroids. It's literally what it is. All for the state, nothing outside the state. And we want people to get profits. We want them to make money, but it's all for the state, nothing outside the state. It's fascism 101. And that's what's happening in the United States. And it's working, man. It does. It worked under Mussolini, worked under Hitler. It works. It's just a fact. Now, there's lots of negatives of fascism. Small competition has a harder time to compete, barriers of entry and whatnot. That's why we have all these freaking insane laws that says, licensing laws, all this stuff. All that does is, and who's that guy, the black guy who's on here? R. I guarantee my man R would loves the idea of licensing. Loves the idea of licensing. Because how dare someone be able to start a business without being licensed from the government to show his competence? And yet, who's the biggest detriment to black entrepreneurs? Black entrepreneurs, the biggest detriment is licensing. It goes back for decades and decades and decades. In Arizona, there's a rule that said black hairdressers, African braids, they had to go into whatever the hell it is, cosmetology school for 2,000 hours to learn how to do African braids, or else they couldn't get licensed to operate legally in Arizona. The cosmology school, there's no classes on African braids. So they had to take 2,000 hours of classes or whatever it was to get licensed on African braids to be able to do African braids legally, or else they're legally criminals. They're literally criminals. That's your licensing there, guy. What's the guy's name? D or R or something like that. But they love themselves for licensing. They love it because it gives the power to them. I had a friend of mine right here in Harrisburg, as a matter of fact. I don't know if he's still around, but he was trying to do a competing taxi company right here in Harrisburg. That's where I'm at right now. But they had to get, for him to open his taxi company in Harrisonburg, he had to get approval from the two incumbents. So the two incumbents, the two taxi companies, had to agree to allow a competitor to come in. And they didn't agree because they said there wasn't enough business to go around. And you're like, he wants to be a cab. He's willing to take the risk with his own capital to offer a better business. Like, we got some Mennonites, and Mennonites about here in the southern part of Harrisonburg and Bridgewater, they don't have any, a lot of them don't have vehicles. They literally take a horse and buggy. He was willing to take these Mennonites for a fee from Bridgewater and Mount Solon and whatnot, Mount Crawford, and to Harrisonburg to see the doctors. And they said, no, we can't have it. He was literally hounded out of by cops, arrested, sent to jail.
He's like, I'm willing to take drunk James Madison University students. I'm willing to give them a ride for free when they're drunk. They said, nope, because the two incumbents said, we don't need this. There's not enough business go around. And crazy. And that's the way licensing has been. So my man says, who needs a licensed MD or an electrician? Well, I mean, again, licensing is buyer beware. If you don't want to hire a license, you don't have to. Now, where your homeowner's insurance allowed to have a friggin', cousin Rudy come wire stuff? Probably not. But the facts are licensing, black hairdressers, taxi cabs, freaking a guy who I was a big brother when I lived in Arizona. Big brother, with a big brother, little brother. My little brother was Alex Fontes, and his mom was illegal, and she used to sell tacos. So she came over the border in like 92 or something like that, and she used to sell tacos to the Mexican laborers. And they shut her down because they said, you aren't licensed. She goes, I'm just selling tacos to these laborers. They said, you can't do it. You have to have a license. And what the license meant, she had to have a $20,000 to $25,000 taco truck with all the kitchen, all that stuff, because it was considered dangerous that the people could get sick eating. I said, well, how long have they been eating your tacos? Well, for years. Have they got sick? No. Okay. Do they have the choice to not eat your tacos? Yes. Does anyone put a gun to eat their tacos? No. So what's the issue? The issue, of course, is the government wants to be in charge, and they want to tell other people how to live their lives. It's not freedom. And as such, here's this poor immigrant needed to raise $20,000 to $25,000 in order to have a taco truck that she could put outside these Mexican laborers who are putting roofs on houses at Phoenix, Arizona, 120 degrees. It's crazy. And somehow that's freedom for minorities. Yeah, okay. Dude, it's crazy, man. Oh, absolutely. How's it? Because even qualified people can't practice and train, so they work into larger companies for no competition. 100%, man. This is what they want. It's what the libs always want. They don't like the small guy. They hate the small guy. They love the incumbents. They don't like entrepreneurial competition, because when you have a chance to be entrepreneurial, you don't need those guys. You don't need the chains they keep around you to work in some crappy old job and essentially be unionized, where they say, oh man, this crappy old job. Yeah, but at least we're giving you 3 hots and a cot. You're like, yeah, I want to do something else. This is where, going back to my man Michael, whatever his name was, what's that guy's name? Michael. Right here. This is where that guy Michael, what he should be saying is, instead of saying the idiot stuff about Medicare and Social Security, what he should be saying is this: what Nancy Pelosi said when they were starting to talk about Obamacare in 2009. Said, wouldn't it be, Nancy Pelosi said this, wouldn't it be nice that if you wanted to be an artist, you didn't have to worry about health insurance because it's taken care of under Obamacare? If you want to do freaking whatever you wanted to do, you didn't have to stay at your job because your health insurance wasn't tied to your employment. Wouldn't it be nice? And that was a very alluring argument. And for one like me, who doesn't like health insurance tied to your work, Obamacare actually is I'm telling you, I did a video on this about a year ago. Obamacare is a right-winger's dream come true. It's essentially a voucher policy. It's based on your income. You don't need to have it through your employer. If your income is low enough, you get massive amounts of government tax credits for private insurance. That's heavily regulated, but still private. If socialism is a state controls the means of production, Obamacare is fascist, 100%. It's completely a fascist entity, but it works like a charm because the government, just like Medicare supplemental policies, the government says these are the parameters you insurance companies got to operate under. If you can make a profit operating under these parameters, more power to you. The insurance companies say, we got the actuaries at hand. They say, let's see how we can make a profit. And as such, it's not tied to your employment. It's tied to your income in terms of your premium, but it's guaranteed issue too. So all these idiots saying and a lot of Republicans fall for it. Like the days are over now of getting rid of Obamacare. It's literally the best thing we could have expected, given that none of us voted for it. We hated it, and we were wrong. Obamacare is a right winger's dream come true because it's completely a voucher program that's not tied to your work and allows you to get out of your crappy little job. If your income is low enough, you're going to have good health care, probably health insurance. I'm not going to say health care. Health care is different than health insurance. Right? Health care is actually the care. You know what I'm saying? We want to care. We don't want to cure. Our government, our system isn't based on curing. It's based on care. Now, acute care is pretty easy. I mean, we get that. But basically, especially long-term care, we don't want to cure you. We want to care for you. That's where the system makes money, by selling you drugs, making you sick, so you got to come back for more and more. I don't even want to see how many drugs my mom's got, dude. It's insane. It's like freaking nuts. It's just a cash cow for these freaking physicians. It's nuts. It's crazy how many freaking things these guys get. And they want to put statins in the water and stuff like that. Literally, the New York Times had a thing 15 years ago. Let's put statins in the water. I'm like, oh, you don't even know about fluoride. Now we want to add statins to it. You don't even know if the vaccines freaking work, dude. We know for a fact. There's never been a study on the efficacy of these freaking massive amounts of children vaccines ever been. And they say there is. No, there hasn't been. It's freaking bad. I tell you, I go back to this. Martin Kulldorff. Everyone hates Martin now because he had to challenge the COVID vax. He was banned essentially from Twitter and whatnot for challenging the COVID vax. He was part of the IOM study, the Institute of Medicine, back in 2009 and 10, which took together all these various studies that they had to prove that childhood vaccination was safe. And in fact, if you actually look at the study, it didn't do anything of the sort. It just did not. But Martin Kulldorff was a guy who put his name, his reputation on that study. And it's just funny how things have turned, because now Martin Kulldorff is persona non grata when it comes to COVID. I just find that funny. Oh, dude, it's funny how they'll tell you that that there's no correlation for causation. You're like, oh yeah, there is. Parents know. Statins. There's a book by a doctor. I forgot the name of it. The mind theft, the Lipitor. I forgot, it was Lipitor mind theft or something like that. I forgot his name, but he was like an astronaut. Literally, a Graveline, I think is his name. He was like an astronaut, Dan Graveline or something like that. And then he was like a medical doctor, like not Vietnam, maybe it was in Vietnam, or I can't remember what it was called. But he was like a big combat med. He was an astronaut, the whole thing. The guy's just righteous as a day is long. And he took Lipitor, and he said he was a pilot, the whole thing, and he lost his memory. And he lost his pilot license. I think he lost his doctor's license. And then he got off Lipitor, and he was fine. But then I can't remember what happened, but he went back on Lipitor. I can't remember. The whole thing's crazy. You can be an artist, get free if you don't make enough to live. No, that's not true. That's absolutely not true. You know what you're talking about, Mark. Why do people just say dumb stuff? Why you gotta say something stupid? It's just so dumb, man. Just get the good. Yeah, but they're not out of the way. They'll never be out of the way, Steve. The government's going to regulate. I mean, that's just a fact. I mean, this is what it is. It'll never stop. All this idea, we want a libertarian and anarcho-capitalist. It's never going to happen, man. God, I hate when people just say stuff that's just dumb. Ugh. Taxis I'm actually stunned that Ubers came out. I'm stunned by that. The medallion system they have in New York City. I mean, and this, in defense of the medallion owners, they paid like $90,000 to get a medallion to drive a taxi. I get why they'd be pissed, because they like barriers to entry, because it costs so much to get in the game that once they paid the price, they don't want someone else coming in for free. I get that, but it's just crazy. Right here. I think if your income is too low, you're categorized as Medicaid, 100%. So what Mark doesn't understand, what's the limit to get subsidies? So he doesn't know what it is, first of all. So he's saying stupid stuff, and you don't know what you're talking about. So you're saying stuff that, what's going on right now? And then Mark says your income. Mark doesn't understand the difference between income and spending power. So Mark, I'd say before you say stupid stuff, up your game there, guy.
We got enough people. We got enough people that don't know what they're talking about. We don't need that here. There's plenty of other places to go where you can say stupid stuff because what you said was dumb. You don't know what you're talking about, and because you know what you're talking about, I got no use for you at all. Dude, I don't care. No one cares about Project 25, dude. Why are you guys so into this? It's the weirdest thing. I know why you are. Just out of nowhere. You know, Michael, you're not a dumb guy. Why you fall for this? I just wish the guys on the left, man, I thought you guys used to be the ones who challenged the authority. What happened to you all? What happened, man? What happened to you, Michael? You guys used to be, look, I came up. My mom and dad had Gus Hall, Angela Davis campaign stuff. They were canvassing for these people in the 1976. Right on, Kirk. God bless you, brother, man. Do you not know who Gus Hall and Angela Davis were? This is where I came up. The left used to be anti-authority. What happened? It's crazy, man. It's just, I don't understand. Like, why did the left become like the freaking, like the Parents Resource Council, where the hell Tipper Gore and all that stuff? What happened to you guys? It's nuts. You just listen to what the media tells you about Project 20. Look, I'm as right-wing as there. I don't know what the hell Project 2025 is because it's stupid. But I do like making memes of it. It's fun. Project 2025. Like, what some of the memes have been posted about Project 2025? What have we been posting on there? Let me see if I can't find my that's what they're thinking about. But dude, we couldn't even get rid of Obamacare. Give me a break, dude. Oh God. Hey, so Mark took some time to do some research. Well, how hard was that, Mark? A family of four may qualify for an ACF subsidy if their income is between $30,000 and $125,000. Huh. So what is income now, Mark? Huh. So qualify for income. Apparently, Mark hasn't been watching any of my YouTube channels. Dude, I hate guys who just say stuff that they don't know what they're talking. I don't hate guys. I hate when people just throw something in there they don't know what they're talking about. It drives me insane. All right, so let's look at some of the memes I put on there, if I can find them on a Project 2025. Because I got a couple of people on my who follow me on Facebook of big libs who are so scared of Project 2025. So let's see some of the stuff I've been posting. Let's see. Oh, by the way, CNN headline: when Lincoln got assassinated. CNN headline: Lincoln nods off at play. That's pretty funny. JFK falls really, really hard at Dallas. CNN. Never changed CNN. Thomas Massey, I love this one. The same bureau that investigated the Las Vegas shooting, the January 6th pipe bomb, is now investigating the attempted assassination of the Trumpster. This is also the same bureau that raided Mar-a-Lago. I'm sure they'll get to the bottom of this soon. And I said, yep. And I said, I still have questions about Oklahoma City. I'm sure I'm just a conspiracy theorist. Let's see some other. Right here. Here's Detroit. This is literally a real headline from the Detroit Free Press. Trump removed from stage by Secret Service after loud noises startles him. That's literally the headline. Oh, my goodness. Then I posted this on Cartman on South Park, talking to these bikers who like to rev up their bikes, and Cartman is just making fun of them. It's classic. Classic. No one's heard of Project 2025 until the media says, oh, my goodness, Project 2025. We got it because, Sniffy Joe is literally, he doesn't know his ass from the hole in the ground. So they got to say, we got to take the pressure off Sniffy Joe and let the liberals focus on something right here. Right here. This is literally a headline from CNN. Secret Service rushes Trump off stage after he falls at rally. That's literally a headline. Trump, oops, hold on a second. Oh, man. Trump injured in rally in Pennsylvania. Oh, it's so funny. All right, let me see some of my 2025 memes I've been posting because there's a lot going around here. There's Sniffy Joe right there. After Sniffy Joe's, this is what I said. After Joe's attempt to ban Newports failed, he said, screw it, I'm all in now. Now he's got his cornrows, he's got his Newports. Sniffy Joe is all in. All right here, Project 2025. Did you know Project 2025 wants to put bullet dispensing machines in every kindergarten classroom? Freaking Project 2025, Heritage Foundation. I hate you. Where's another Project 2025 one? I got a couple other ones on here. I thought, oh, right here. Project 2025 brings back older style gas cans. Freaking Heritage Foundation. I hate you. I hate you, Heritage Foundation. I think I got another one on here. Maybe I don't. I thought I did. A couple other Project 2025 one. This is a pretty cool shirt, though, if you like hockey. Shut your 5-hole. That's freaking fantastic. Yeah, corn pop, exactly. Yeah, Mark. Dude, now look, I'm pretty politically inclined. I like the Heritage Foundation, generally speaking. This whole it's such a freaking. The liberals are so easy to manipulate. It's embarrassing. I look at the liberals in my parents' day, how hardcore they used to be. Yeah, they're stupid. They protested nuclear power. I mean, we used to have Maine Yankee, in Wisconsin, Maine, a nuclear power plant. But then my parents and other people protested. In fact, one of the first pictures of me ever is sitting on my mom's back. She had me in like one of those backpack protesting Maine Yankee in Wisconsin, Maine. Oh, then magically, 3 Mile Island and the China Syndrome just happened to fall together 3 days apart. The China Syndrome movie just came out, and magically, at the same time, the 3 Mile Island came out. Whoa. Yeah, but they're so like, oh, they're going to get rid of Medicare and Social Security. I'm like, oh, God. Says who? Project 2025. It's dumb. It's dumb, man. I lived in Canada for 3 years, American. One day I had an arthritic flare. Cost $50. Yeah, and there you go, man. My knee blew up there. I mean, I got it on my watch list. What I'm saying. Look, no one's sitting there saying there's not some benefits to national health care, Ty. No one's saying the facts are it's rationed. That's just a fact. That is a fact. It's rationed. As such, if you need pain medication, look, dude, go move to Canada and see what happens when you need some serious pain medication. You see some serious surgery, you need a hip replacement, all that stuff. Just see what happens. It's kind of like when I remember I was reading this probably 20 years ago. People arguing about Medicare. Some idiot lady wrote like Forbes magazine or something, or Wall Street Journal. She had all this work done on Medicare, and it didn't cost her anything. It didn't cost her anything. She had all this stuff done on Medicare. I support Medicare. I said, damn, it's free. The doctors didn't get paid. It fell from the Medicare, the healthcare tree. It's just free. Yeah, of course. Anytime government gets involved, there's some winners, but there are also losers. That's the issue, 100%. And you can make an argument, a good one. There's winners and losers now. I get it. And one of the benefits about Obamacare, frankly, is this guaranteed issue. You can have pre-existing conditions to get it. That's one of the benefits. One of the other benefits is if you keep your income down below a certain threshold, you get massive amounts of subsidies. That's a benefit. No one's going to argue that. Obamacare is contingent on your county, for sure. But we don't, in Fulton County, Georgia, there's no PPO. It's all HMO, and I can't stand HMO. But, I mean, I'd have access to providers. How good are these providers? I don't know. We have a friend of ours who is very wealthy, let's just put it this way. And she's on Obamacare. And she needed something done. And she lives in Dallas. And there's no guy in her network, because it's under an HMO Obamacare, that locally to her that would provide what she needed. So she had to go to like freaking Tyler, Texas, or something like that. And she went. I don't think it's that far, but she had to go quite a distance to the only doctor who did whatever she needed. And she went there, and she goes in her plan because it's HMO. And she went there, and she goes. It was like Dr. Nick Riviera. You know what I'm talking about, Dr. Nick. Hello, everybody. Hello, Dr. Nick. It was like freaking. She was dirty. It was like it wasn't very bright. She goes, I'm not getting anything done here. And so her dad had some money and just paid for the surgery out of pocket because she had the ability to do that. And so that was, again, that's rationing. And as you squeeze providers, that's how you keep the fees low. You squeeze providers, right? There'll be less providers. And then the providers who are left, how good are they at providing the services you need? It's Dr. Nick Riviera, man, because the competent providers say, no, I'm not doing that. I'm going to America where I can get paid for my competence. The incompetent providers are the new guys coming out, the new financial planners like your old buddy Josh when I started Vanguard. You want it cheap, you're going to get incompetence. That doesn't mean they can't do the job, but what you see is It's a Russian roulette. In fact, I had a friend of mine who, when we left USA, USA got basically bought out by Schwab. She doesn't work there anymore. She worked at Schwab, and the problem with Schwab is some of the financial planners are great and some suck donkey balls, and you don't know what you're going to get. So you could have friggin' Jane Doe, she gets the best financial planner ever. Then you have John Doe, he gets literally the exact same thing. You just don't know. It's Russian roulette. And that's not good. That's not good. It's like that, Van. It's like that everywhere. You just don't know. And with financial planning, it's one thing, but when it comes to your health care, that's another thing. We're not sure you want to take that Russian roulette. So anyway, but the point being is there's always winners anytime government gets involved. No one's going to argue that. No one to argue that some people don't get ahead. The question is the best bang for the buck. It's absolutely not. It's just simply not. Especially when we have evidence right here in the good old US of A. Now, again, Obamacare is a good move, frankly, which I was adamantly opposed to because I can't stand the idea of a single payer system. But now that Obamacare has been solidified and more and more insurance companies are seeing a profit to be made to offer Obamacare under the heavy regulation, it's starting to work pretty good. So I credit Obama and Big Mike. Big Mike, he had Big Mike, they had to get it done. Let's see. What are you talking about? I see Penelope on here. Honestly, baby, I can prescribe anything I want. I like it. Penelope talking. Those type of blinds. I'm in a hotel. Free college, free healthcare, free housing. Isn't it weird? The more the government gets involved in healthcare, housing, and college, the prices go up. What's that about? Social Security is not being phased out, brother. It's not. Yeah, 100%. I agree. It's Mark, you'll always have examples, anecdotal. It worked for me. Dude, I just don't have enough docs in the Dwayne, you're 100% right. That's why we're importing them left and right from Philippines and India. And I got no problem with that, dude. It doesn't bother me. But I'm looking forward to watching that. Absolutely. Let's see. Oh, so the regulations are what keep your beef from not being mad cow? Let me guess. There, guy. If it wasn't for the regulations, our backyard chickens would all give salmonella because the CDC says backyard chickens are a problem for salmonella. Oh my goodness. All right, Mark, seems like you're throwing it. All right, good. You're giving a good call a try. So you're back, Mark. I appreciate it. You didn't just take your ball and run away. All right, so Mark, let's talk about Obamacare because you seem like you're an all right guy. So I bash you a little bit. I'm taking back my bashing. All right. So here's how Obamacare works, Mark. You hit the nail on the head. The 100 to 150 group of people, or anything more. Like for me, I'm a perfect example. I have a family of 6. Right? I make an income. I'm not a W-2 employee. I'm a 1099, but you can only write off so many things as a self-employed individual. So I made so much money that I didn't qualify for, or too much money to qualify for any Obamacare premium credits. So I had to pay because I made more than 400% of the federal poverty level. So it's 400% of the federal poverty level is where you qualify for Obamacare premium credits, right? It is a scale, right? So the closer you are to the federal poverty level, the more you, I want to get to your question, John. That's a good question. I definitely want to talk about here in a second. So the closer you get to the federal poverty level, the more the premium credits are. But what people don't understand is that once you're no longer, this is the problem with working in a crappy old job. If you don't like it, because you're making that money, that's great. But it's a W-2 income or 1099 income. Basically, you're gonna have to pay tax on the whole thing. It's all gonna flow to your 1040 as taxable income. Nothing inherently wrong with that. But what happens is once you stop working, let's say at 55, right? I talk to people all the time about this. Now, let's just say it's just you and Mark Reed's wife. I feel bad for her. We'll call her Mary Reed. So Mark's married to Mary. And Mary's like, Mark, would you just pull your head out of your butt and start researching this before you start yapping? I'm just goofing on you, Mark. You seem like you're all right guy. So what happens is now it's just Mark and Mary. All right. Mark says, I can't stand my crappy old job. I'm working in the military industrial complex. I want to go smoke dope all day long. And so Mary says, that's fine, Mark, but what about health insurance? And Mark says, look, Mary, as long as our income is basically below $80,000, we're going to qualify for massive Obamacare subsidies. Now, I can't speak to the specifics of your county plan. I just don't know. If you live in Hall County in Georgia, no, it's Fayette County, Georgia, 2 counties up north, there's PPOs. If you live in my county, there's no PPOs. But I can't speak to specifically the providers under the Obamacare plan. But the issue is, from a cost perspective, it is quite cheap. And also, Mark, check this out. Shh, don't tell anybody. Shh, don't tell anybody this. If you got all this money in cash or Roth IRA, shh, keep this between us. It's hardly flows to your 1040. It's crazy. If you had $1 million in cash in a money market, the only thing that flowed to the bottom of your 1040, I'm like Joe Biden here, by the way, is a $50,000 of interest income that you get in the money market. That's it. So you and Mary would get almost 100% subsidies under Obamacare. Shh. You could have $1 million in cash because you've already paid tax on that cash. All you got to do is take the interest. That interest flows to your 1040 AGI. Then you get, which is what Obamacare is based on. And that's $50,000 for Mark and Mary. You're getting Obamacare for almost free. It's crazy. I know nothing's free. Dude, what do you do? Of course nothing. This is the laws Michael, this is the laws your boys gave us. We're just living in it. Why don't we have a single payer? We just talked about that. I don't think so, John. I think the premiums would be maybe even less than that, depending on the state. Because remember, federal poverty level, and then you got to look at how much subsidies you get for your policies. If you're in California or something, it's different on the state. But I think they might even be cheaper than that. But yeah, we'll just say $100, $200 a month. I think it might be cheaper. You qualify it. Yeah, there is nothing for free. This goes back to my whole thing. Is when people think I'm a MMT guy, I'm not. Modern monetary policy. Yeah, modern monetary theory. That's what it's called. But this is where I disagree with the right wing here. People have been saying, "Oh, it's going to bankrupt the system." I said they've been saying that since freaking LBJ. Hell, they were saying that even before that. There's an article, and one of my books I'd written. We got a cartoon in the New York Times talking about the debt under FDR is going to bankrupt America. It hasn't happened. I don't think it's ever going to happen. I just don't think so. I think that's just a way to get the big wigs to say, we can compete on debt. Who's going to pay off the debt? Dude, we're never paying off the debt. We can't even get a deficit under control. It's stupid. Hey, Charles Wright. Look at that. Yep. So if you want to hide it up, what I'm saying. But again, if you have a Roth and you have, let's just say part-time, I was talking to a guy just yesterday. Was it yesterday? 2 days ago. He and his wife get part-time income, $40,000 a year, working at a baseball card store, something like that. $40,000 a year. I'm just using that for example. Dude, I'm putting out all kinds of gravy, Charles. All kinds. You're late though, brother. $40,000 a year, 55 years old. You're going to qualify for massive Obamacare subsidies. Massive. I can't remember where they live. I just can't recall. And you can go. Let me show you the website to go. Dude, let me just give an example. We're going to run some numbers for my man Mark Reed because he put up with my bashing him. And I like that. I like the guy's got guts. All right. Here it is. All right, Mark's back. So check this out. We're going to run over here. We're going to see this big Sideshow Bob looking lady here. And we're just going to put my zip code, 3004. Actually, we're at 22801 is where we are right now. We're in Harrisburg City. Let's see what Harrisburg. I got to go to Virginia Marketplace. All right, well, I don't want to go. So we're going to go to 3004, Fulton County. All right, so we got our Sideshow Bob looking lady here. We go to Fulton County. All right, can y'all see what I'm doing here? Yeah. And we're going to say we got Mark. We're going to go start. We're going to say it's Mark and Mary. We're married. We're not going to claim anybody. We're going to say Mark is 55. He's a male, and he's not pregnant because you never know anymore. Mark could be pregnant. I mean, the people he vote for think men can get pregnant. I know it's science. It's science. It's weird how science changed like that. Then we're going to say Mary's 55 as well, and we're going to say she's not pregnant either. And how dare they only have two sexes on here? That is just off the charts, unacceptable. And we're going to say Mary's all that. So we're going to say confirm. We're going to say they make $40,000 a year of part-time income. All right, so we're going to show you how much they're going to get here. Again, this is Fulton County, Georgia. We don't have PPOs, we only have HMOs. And we're going to do a silver plan, and we're going to say HMO, silver or gold, silver and gold, silver and gold. We're going to apply filters, and I have no clue how good these plans are. You'd have to look them. Kaiser Permanente is big in Atlanta. So here we got the Oscar Health Plan of Georgia, silver simple primary care physician saver plan. Is it any good? I have no clue. $68 a month for Mark and Mary. $68 a month. High deductible, out of pocket max. That's what we want. But that's what we don't want Mark and Mary to file a health insurance claim for the equivalent of getting an oil change. This is what we on the libertarian right have been arguing for 30 flipping years. Since freaking what's her name? Freaking Hillary Clinton had Hillary Care. Then Kennedy Kassebaum came around, which was the beginning of COBRA, by the way. And we on the libertarian right say, don't tie health insurance to your employer. Also, make it high enough deductible so that way people won't file a stupid insurance claim for getting a freaking hangnail. It's insane. So here we got the deductible is $9,500, but your out-of-pocket max is $14,400. So we know for a fact that a Mark and Mary are in relatively good shape, they're not going to pay much for health care. It's just a fact. It's time to get unbloated, man. I didn't get bloated. Okay, right here. Here's my man John. About $50K in income, cash investing in Blue Cross. Look at that. Look at my man John. Crushing. $50K income, cashing in investments. We have Blue Cross Blue Shield, and I know John. $9,500 a month between John and John's better half. Look at that. John's wife is smoking hot compared to John. So John basically promised his wife, Missy, we'll call her Missy, said, Missy, marry me. I got all kinds of money. Missy says, I'll only marry you if you can get me health care for less than $100 a month. And John said, I'll do it. Here comes Christopher. I got a bronze, high deductible health plan with HSA. Can I have up to 55? Yeah, look at that. And look, Chris looks like he's in tip-top shape. But the issue is, even if you're not tip-top shape, it's guaranteed issue, which means there's no pre-existing. Why are there 5 costs? I don't know what that means. John, maybe in a different environment, John, I'd be interested in your love, but I just like the ladies. I like the ladies, not going to lie to you. And you should too. I mean, so this is the issue. We've solved, and I'll go back to, I'm not going to keep you guys here all night, but here in Harrisburg, one of my biggest clients when I was a stockbroker, I'm not going to say that. Anyway, this is back during the 2004 campaign. And he's 58 years old back then. He had pre-existing conditions. He said, look, I don't know if I have the stamina to do my labor, because he was a busy guy. Pulverizer. I should have listened to Pink Floyd on the way up here. I didn't think about it. I was listening to Dwight Yoakam. I was listening to some Grimlock. I was listening to some Gunther Weezer. I was listening to some Cujo. Why are there cost menus? Why are there various costs according to what insurance you have? I'm not sure what you're saying. Various costs according to there's different plans. You have a million different plans you could choose from. It's this thing with healthcare, the Obamacare. The reason it's working now is because it's here to stay. So these insurance companies were hesitant to get involved in 2017 because they're worried that the Republicans would get rid of it like they promised us. And when the Republicans didn't get rid of it and they saw that there's money to be made in this stuff, they got their actuaries, they start crunching numbers, like we can make money, just like they're doing with the Medicare Advantage plans. They do the same thing with Medicare Advantage plans. Now, liberals don't like, I don't like, I mean, a couple good songs. I did listen to Steve Earle's Copperhead Road. That's a good song. Let's show what else I listened to here on the way up here. Hold on just a second. Let's listen to some Oi music.
Nah, dude, I haven't listened to any Chris Christopherson. I know you listen to Chris since you love his music. No, I don't know that. No, any ladies out there think that I'm available? I don't like Chris Christopherson. I was listening to some Dwight Yoakam. What else was I listening to? Some Audio Slave, Charlie Daniels. Yeah. Wartime Manners, a band out of Troy, New York. Audio Slave, Grimlock, Jawbreaker, they're like a pop punk band. Strong Arm and the Bullies, Patriot, listen to them. Egypt, oh, Jake Hamilton, The Sound, freaking love Jake Hamilton. I don't know if you ever listened to him. Some Sammy Kershaw, the Queen of My Double Wide Trailer. I listened to that song, Praise the Lord and Pass the Ammunition. Kind of funny. Mark says, I voted for, hey, look at Mark. Oh, God, Jonah Goldberg wing. Jonah Goldberg. Natalie Imbruglia is, I think she was, I don't even know who the hell you talk about, John. That was I just getting ready to say. Oh, so anyway, so this guy, he said, Josh, I might have to vote for John Kerry because I can't hang on until I'm 65. Because he had pre-existing conditions. I was, oh, dude, I love Mountain. I'm a huge fan of Mountain, 100%. I love Led Zeppelin, Jet Beck. I'm all about it. The system, it's just not broken. Why are you saying that, dude? Why would you say the system's broken unless you're rich? Oh, it's just not. That's why I do my video be poor on paper. It's just not broken unless you're rich. It's actually opposite. Where you were going, one of you guys, either you or Mark, were saying about the middle class. They're the ones who bear the brunt. But I hate to say it, Mark, your friends make between 150. They aren't middle class, man. They're just not. That's not. They think they're middle class. Leslie West, yeah, dude, such a good voice. Me too. I'm like freaking. I'm like, what's his name from 1984? I love Big Brother. I've come to say, hey, Big Brother's doing all right by me. Freaking more power to the Federal Reserve Board. I'm all about it. As long as we don't go to war. You know what I'm saying? Just let's enough of the war stuff, right? We don't have the ability to fight the Chinese now. We don't. So let's just back up. We don't have the ability. Our military is the Chinese. I was reading the other day that the China can build, I don't know, like 8 to 1 of our ships. I don't know, whatever. So I was just like, dude, it's not right. 401k, it's not. Look at my man Vaughn, playing for CHM Healthcare, 267 a month, 100 million coverage per incident. Christian Health, yeah. All right, so lastly, then we'll get out of here. How did I stop drinking? Ooh, John, it was you must have felt something very powerfully. I can't tell you. In fact, I was thinking about this on the. I did a. I don't think I posted it yet. Did I post it? I don't think I posted it. I did a video on the way up because I just, I'm going to see some friends from high school. I'm going to go to lunch with a guy I used to be in the Army with, and I used to just again as I saw when I started this whole live stream, just a great guy. This guy, I have nothing like. I look up to him with everything. You know what I'm saying? And I look back and it just got me thinking about the time that's gone by past. It's like how many just relationships did I ruin by just being a freaking drunk? And it's just it hurts actually. It really does. And people say I forget. I'd completely forgive myself because if I didn't do those things, I would not be where I am today. But it still hurts. You see what I'm saying? I was like, oh, like, how many girls did I have that I just treated like crap that I could have been a good relationship with that I just was a freaking idiot to? How many friends did I have that I just wrecked stuff, dude. You know what I'm saying? And it's just this whole, it was bad. So anyway, when Charlotte and I started getting pretty heavy, she was up in Boston going to Boston College to get her master's degree. I was still at George Mason in Fairfax, Virginia, and I was finished. I had quit I was working at a bar for for about 3 years before that, and making bank. I don't know. It was insane how much I was drinking. It was just all beer, thank the good Lord. I was just having a blast. It was a party, but she anyway, so she was up to Boston, and she said, like, I don't really want to be in a relationship with you if you're going to keep drinking, because every time we hang out, you're always drinking, and I don't like sometimes how you get when you're drinking. You know what I'm saying? This is Charlotte now, and I said, all right. So I said, I'll quit drinking. Anyway, so one time I went up to Boston. It was me, her roommates. They were married, and a couple other friends, and we went out to dinner. And I ordered a Sam Adams strawberry ale. And we're in Boston, and I wasn't. Sam Adams didn't do much for me, but this is some. This is back before the brew pub. I worked in a brew pub. We had freaking 15 brews that we did in house on tap or something like that. A significant amount, and we had just everything. We had freaking anchor steam, box. You name. We had stuff from all over the place. Sierra Nevada, the Bass, Foster's. What's the other one from? There's another one from England that goes with on your black and tans, Bass and Guinness. Foster's is another one. I forgot what it was called. Man, we just had a million beers. It was great. I love it. It was a party, making money. You know what I'm saying? Just having a party while I was still in college. Anyway, but I had quit by then because I knew Charlotte wanted me to stop drinking. I said, okay, I'll quit working this place. And so I went up to eat with her and her friends, and I ordered a Sam Adams strawberry ale, and she was pissed. She goes, "I thought you quit drinking." What was rude? I must have missed something. I didn't hear what you said. That's all good. But you can't believe you said that was rude. That Wesley West was the best. Anyway, that's all. I didn't see it, so no worries. Sorry. Anyway, so we're up there, and I ordered, and she was pissed. She goes, "I thought you quit drinking." I said, "Well, I'm just drinking one or two." She goes, "Drinking one or two isn't quitting drinking." Anyway, so we went to go see my mom up in Maine, and it's me, Charlotte, and my brother. And I think we're driving. I had a pickup truck then, so it's me driving, Charlotte, between us, the bitch seat, and my brother in the oh shit seat. You know what I'm saying? So Josh driving, Charlotte between us, and my brother in the oh shit seat. And and we had already made plans. So Charlotte was not keen on going because she goes, "Dude, you lied to me." Anyway, so when I was trying to talk to Charlotte, I had to talk to Ben, my brother, to talk to Charlotte because Charlotte she's a master at playing at Don't Talk to Me. You know what I'm saying? No one's better than Charlotte at the silent treatment. Oh, anyway, so long story short, we get I drop her off. I go back to DC. I'm living in Alexandria, and I'm still in college. And she basically said, "That's it. I don't want anything to do with it anymore." I said, "What?" I couldn't believe it. She broke up with me, and I was like, over a couple. I was pissed. I was like, over a couple beers. What the hell? And it killed me. It broke my heart. I said, why do I keep doing this? This is '97. I said, why do I keep doing this? Keep letting alcohol ruin relationships with wonderful ladies. You know what I'm saying? I've had so many good relationships, and I just ruined them by being and I didn't beat on anybody. I mean, I've gotten a lot of fights with men. You know what I'm saying? I lashed out and I got hit back, and you know what I'm saying? But like just being a dick 10% of the time. Tempo, that's what they call it, Jeremy. Oh, that's fantastic. Tempo. I remember sitting there, and I wrote about this in my book, Return to Peak Silence, kind of like my memoir. It's not really all my memoir, but it's kind of like that. And I just remember sitting there, and I was doing dishes one morning, and I had nothing because I quit my job in my bar. I had to remove myself from my friends because I did want to give up drinking. I just had no friends anymore. I didn't have a girlfriend. I was like, just lonely. I said, man, you screwed up. I said, but never go back. And I said, no matter what happens, I'll never go back. Because I never want to go through this again of the loneliness of having a relationship ruined because of my drinking. You know what I'm saying? Because I was an inconsistent drunk. And what that means is just not reliable. And you can be a dick. You can be a dick. And you can get either angry or you can try to go too far, if you know what I'm saying. And I had it, and I just look back at the past and all these other people I've just lost because of drinking. And I said, this is, I was 27. I said, well, I was 26. I had turned 27. I said, this has got to be it. This has got to be your case. Yeah. So the video I didn't do, I'll post tomorrow morning is, let me show you the thumbnail. Yep. September 1988. Wow, man. Mine was May 25th, 1997. And it's all gone up since then. I mean, look, I'm not a dry, I don't go to AA or anything. And I did. And people say you're a dry drunk. I'm not a dry drunk, but I get what a dry drunk is. I'm not like that. But I get that. It's just, I'm not like that. But, I still look back and I still like, oh, man, I look back. Silent, yeah, exactly. That's 100%, man. So here I am as a young whippersnapper. If I can find it, right here. Yeah, angry at birth. Dude, a dry drunk is someone who's still drunk, but he doesn't drink. He's still angry. He still lashes out. He still is like, "Woe is me." Exactly, angry at birth. That's exactly right, John. And I was actually going through some old pictures and stuff, and I was reading I had a diary from a long time ago. I hadn't written it in a long time. I'm gonna. I was looking. I was like, why was I even back then? I was saying, why am I so angry? I was like, I was so pissed off from a young kid, and so here I am. I'm freaking 13 years old right there. That's me at 13. My mom sent this to me the other day. I was already knee deep into weed, beer, alcohol, and cigarettes. At 13 years old, I was already knee deep in that stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, I started in 7th grade smoking dope. And I don't know why. It's weird, man. But just like John, I was angry at birth. Why though? I still don't understand. I don't like it. I still fight it, dude. It's crazy. I still fight it. Like, look, I'm 54 years old now. I got 4 kids. I'm a hell of a lot calmer than I was. And thankfully I don't drink, but it's like, where does the anger come from? Like, it's just weird. And I don't like it. And it made you great at sports. Isn't that funny, man? And my brother's like that. My brother, Penelope. Thanks, Penelope. Dude, my brother's like that. He's same thing. He was angry at birth as well, which is weird. My sister is exact opposite. My sister's like the nicest person you ever meet. My brother's good at football. I think it was like honorable mention, all state or something. I don't know what it was. But yeah, in some regard. Yeah, I think Ted. I think yeah, I do. For sure. Not having a dad. I do. I 100%. I think, but I don't know. I mean, I don't have anything to compare it to because I know there's plenty of kids who get pissed off who have dads around. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. But I'm gonna ban Penelope for that. Yeah, it made me great at being. In fact, I did a video on this about 6 months or something like that ago. I was thinking about like an avatar of keeping me focused, keeping motivated, of just not the people that not the people that doubted you so much, but the people that kind of let you down, if that makes sense. The people that let you down, that like the girlfriend who dropped you, or the guy who just kind of said, just wasn't there for your back. You know what I'm saying? So going back in my memories, I got dumped a couple of times by girls, rightly so. A couple of guys didn't have my back when I needed them to have my back. But where it made you, John, great at sports. That made me have I was always cock strong, if that made sense. I had a guy when I was in the Army. I couldn't do crap in the Army, but he said, "You're cock strong." I said, "I don't know what that means." You'll keep going. You'll keep going until you die. And I always kind of liked that, cock strong. I had no doubt either. It does mess you up. You always feel like you have 100%. That's one, dude. I could have said it better myself. Exactly it. You always feel like you have something to, man, that's exactly it, Cal. The people who you abandoned you, the girl who dropped you, the guys who let you down, your own dad who abandoned, that's 100%, dude. The people who abandoned you. Like, I don't feel like I have something to prove to my mom. You know what I'm saying? Even though she abandoned me. I don't even think I have something to prove to my dad. But I have something to prove to myself, to the people at a younger age when I was really, when I needed them to be at my back when they abandoned me. for what they thought were greener pastures. That's why that's like you have something to prove. You want to say you left me for you thought was greener pastures. I mean, we're talking 30, 40, I guess 30 years ago. And I want to, and you let me hang for what you thought was greener pastures. I want to prove to you to this day that I was always the greenest pasture, if that makes sense. It's weird, dude. I'm glad other people are saying that, because I said, why do I have this feeling? You know what I'm saying? Because I still see this girl in particularly in my mind who dumped me like a ton of worms, you know what I'm saying, and lied to me about it. And it pisses me off, but also makes me sad. And that is my like driving force. And a couple of friends I had who let me down when they should have let me down. And but it's helped me because it got me where I am today. If I did not have that driving force, as literally I was posting this video about today, I haven't posted it yet. I said, if I did not have that driving force, I'm not sure I would have got through some of the crap I had was thrown at me. I just don't think I would have. I would have took my ball and gone home, like I told Mark to do. Mark Reed here, and Mark hung out. Look at my man Michael. I think it was completely done in order to get Trump. I think the Secret Service, the CIA, just like they did JFK, MLK, RFK, they wanted Trump gone, and they were going to do what they can. And they were going to, well, it's funny, Kirk, and I'll get out of here. Long story short, is that I think back, like, because I had never been dumped. You know what I'm saying? I was always dumping people. And that, I hate to say it, but I was an asshole. I don't like dumping people, but yeah, right on. I know what I'm saying. Negative never did much. Just a couple good songs by Negative, but they didn't do too much to me. But anyway, Metallica sucks anyway. I mean, after Ride the Lightning, Master of Puppets, a couple good songs. After that, they suck. But anyway, I'm glad some of you guys are thinking that too, man, because that makes me feel, because it's like, why do I care about some chick who dumped me 35 years ago? And I still do. It's weird. It's not like I'm sitting like, oh, it's not like that. It's just like I still got that hostility about being let go, like because that never happened to me before. You know what I'm saying? It's still, and it happened to me since a couple of times. That still pisses me off, but not the first one. The first one is what gets you the most. Like, what? You're dumping me? What the hell? Especially when you're lied to about it. You're like, it's not what you said. Going back to my wife, when I lied to her about my own drinking, you see what I'm saying? So I was like, oh, I get it. I get it. See, I had lied to her. And I was like, well, I'm just drinking a couple beers. But you lied to me. You said you quit. I said, man, it's just a couple beers. It wasn't a big deal. But now I said, oh. And then when she was about ready to dump me, I said, oh, I get it. It's the same thing that happened to me 10 years previously when I got dumped. The chick lied to me. And I was like, ooh, it all made sense. Kind of like I don't want to get too deep in this, but I had another girlfriend who I liked a lot too before Charlotte. And I just took it too far, you know what I'm saying? And she goes, you told me we weren't going to do that. I said, and we didn't, nothing happened. It wasn't as bad as I'm making it sound, but she goes, you told me, and I stopped, but she said, you told me we weren't going to do it. And I remember like I broke her heart for that. I was like, to this day, I'm like, I killed myself. It's like, you said you wouldn't do it, and you did, and you tried. And she was, oh man. Anyway, and her mom, I got dumped once, 32 years ago. And her mom put in her head, exactly, Mark. That's what I'm saying. And her mom was probably right. She looked at the Josh as I was then and said, this guy's a loser. And why do people keep saying you're yelling, Chris? I don't get it. I don't get why they keep saying you're yelling. I don't understand. That's exactly what happened to me. In fact, it's not even the girl, it's her mom. That's what I'm saying. Look, I was a dick. I'm not going to lie to you. I wasn't like a freaking cat's meow of a boyfriend. But it's her mom. I'm sitting there thinking, oh, it's weird, dude. So I'm glad I'm not the only one. I really appreciate you guys saying that, because that. Why do you guys keep saying Chris was yelling? I don't get it. The only guy who was yelling was that black guy, D or something like that. What's that guy's name? R, who kept wanting to debate. I'm like, I don't want to debate you, dude. I don't care. I really don't care. I think they want to take out Trump, Michael. I do, and I think that our government is run by a corrupt elite who doesn't like to challenge their authority. And in some way, I get it. They got to feed 350 people, man, 350 million people. And I'd say a good probably 300 million people, if they went 3 days without food, zombie land. You know what I'm saying? I get it. They're worried about 300 million people without food stamps, without electricity. They say Trump is is the enemy to that safety net of that. I get it. I do. I don't think you should kill people, and I don't know who the people are. Is it freaking Mayorkas or who's running Chris Wray and whoever's running the CIA? I don't know who these people are. I don't think it's them, but I completely get it. I say, look, it's tough managing 300 million idiots. I hate to say it, but many in our country are just dumb. They don't know how to manage themselves. I know I love America. I love Americans, but the facts are, if you turn the lights off for 3 days, there's going to be hell to pay on the society. And all these anarcho-capitalists say, oh, we don't need the government. Yeah, you do. Who's going to maintain your property rights, man? Who's going to maintain your sovereignty? It's your government. Yeah, that's crazy. It's R right on. All right, Mark. So I apologize for being a dick to you. And I apologize to you too, Michael. Yeah, Christopher, settle down, Christopher. Why are you yelling? Who's our friend tonight? The only happiness is being richer than God. I miss that. All right. Well, it's 10 o'clock, my friends. I can get out of here. Hey, this is fun. Man, it's crazy how some of you guys got the exact same thing I do. That makes me feel good. Harry said he used to be dumped all the time. Until you got that annuity, Harry. Once you got that annuity, all the ladies are like, Harry. Oh, man. That's good. That makes me happy. I'm actually happy to hear that other people are having the same thing, man. Let's say a prayer. Let's say a prayer. Heavenly Father, we just pray for all of us here. Just dealing with, all got our issues to deal with. They all do. And all individually unique. And it doesn't make sense for some and it makes sense for others. But excuse me. But dear Lord, the only salvation is to turn to you and seek guidance. Not to live in the past, but to seek guidance for the future with God as our command. And God who sent his son Jesus to die for us. So all can be forgiven in the long run, to follow your commands, to love you above all things, to glorify you in all we do. Obviously, we fall short. And thank you, Lord, for allowing us into your love, even though we fall well short of you. We pray for those people who are down on their luck right now. Pray for those people who are suicidal. I pray for my mom. And Lord, I just thank you for all the blessings you've given us. We pray in Jesus' name. Amen. All right, my friends, I can get out of here, but that was a good talk. Good talk. So I appreciate it, guys. Dude, the buffet. All right, God bless. Appreciate it. It's good talk. Good talk. We'll see you guys.